Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast.
Coming to you out of SideQuest Studios, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 150.
Woohoo!
Hello out there, I'm your host Elliot Jay O'Neill, and this is Wasteland Megamix.
What?
And I have brought back the Wasteland Band, Jordan Frost.
Hello.
And BT Calloway.
Hoi hoi.
And yes, this is the Simpsons Index. Normally we review 3 episodes, 3 different decades, but we have these Wasteland specials. Now, for long-time listeners, you'll know we started out with the Teenage Wasteland. Then we got a little bit higher definition and did the HD Wasteland.
HD Wasteland.
And yeah, my Wasteland band doing on the backups. And yeah, earlier in the year we did our season 30 and Treehouse of Horror Wasteland. Now we're just mixing it all up. We've got a little bit of everything, and we've even got a classic episode in there.
It's a Wasteland sampler.
It is. It is a Whitman's Wasteland.
Hey.
Delicious.
Nice.
So we're going to leave it up to chance somewhat of what episode we pick first. So BT, as our dungeon master in the Wasteland.
Okay, got my dice of unusual size, my 7-sided dice. Let's have a roll. 6.
Good roll.
6. Oh, we're starting out with a treehouse.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll have one Treehouse of Horror for this Wasteland Mega Mix, and that will be Treehouse of Horror 29. We will be back. And we are back. We have made our first steps into the Wasteland, and we just watched Season 30, Episode 4, Treehouse of Horror 29, XXIX. First released in October of 2018, it was directed by Matthew Vaughn, written by Joel H. Cohen. Hey guys, overall impressions, what did we think?
Morphine, please.
I'm just going to do a little ASMR for our listeners.
Sweet liquor eases the pain.
Because I kind of need that one after a bit of a tooth-painy episode.
Yeah, it's fair to step out into the Wasteland. The first thing you're like, oh, it's the Wasteland. Is it really so bad? And then you step out like, oh, look, a horrible mutant. Yeah, that's why they call it the Wasteland.
And like Lisa, you can go, oh, they just want to be friends. They just want to be understood. This one was a mutant that, is just mindless killing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, look, it actually wasn't as bad as the worst ones we've seen, but it was just kind of a nothing way to start out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think mind-numbing was, definitely.
Yeah, I think we're going to put in more effort reviewing it than they did in writing it. It just smacks of complete laziness, just malaise of the worst kind.
It is the typical late-era Simpsons Treehouse of Horror where they're just like, what is in vogue right now? What is something that is in the popular culture consensus, and then just writing an episode about that, but taking nothing really from the source material and just doing their own spin, which is just a kind of surface level piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh, and the lazy social commentary in this one is just serious okay boomer vibes.
Yeah.
Let's get it out while we can. I think it's probably only going to be November and December of this year where that'll be relevant. So let's get as many in as we can, guys.
Yeah, before you know it, you'll see a tweet from Australian Police Force with an okay boomer joke, and it's like, all right, pack it up. That one's done.
Actually, sorry, I don't know if you know it should be the B word because it is a generational slur.
I did see a good meme, which is like, okay, boomers are now offended by the word they've, checks notes, have been calling themselves for 60 years.
All right, let's hook into this. Okay, so the opening section didn't have a title. It's just like Homer's eating contest with Cthulhu.
Welcome to Fogbury Land or something. Was that a pun?
No.
Okay.
But this was a reprisal of the gravestone jokes, which I don't think they'd done for years up until this point.
Long time.
Yeah.
They didn't pick some good ones.
No. But watermelon Oreos.
Slow News Days was one I enjoyed because, that doesn't seem to happen anymore.
Yeah. American exceptionalism.
Yeah. And the extended one with the guy with beloved wife, beloved secret wife, and then he really breaks down over beloved boat.
Oh, people in their boats. The one I didn't like, because this is the way I took it, it was like winking at work was on a gravestone. And I'm like, do you mean, is this like these people with their PC ways, you can't even wink at work without someone reporting for sexual harassment? And that's the way I took it.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm kind of like, what? Why are you making it, if you're making people uncomfortable, then we as a collective stop that behavior.
Yeah.
So why you...
Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
Oh, you can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, it felt a bit like that, and I was very disappointed.
Yeah. This was a weird opening scene, though, because it felt like they put in a lot of effort for just an opening, you know?
Yeah, a lot of effort that just ate time, and that's it.
They do that a bit, though, don't they? Because they had that, like, claymation candy bar people
Yeah,
one
that's right.
a
That
few
was
years ago.
bad.
And I think the best one they've done of that is when they had was it Guillermo del Toro or something?
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the, like,
Did like an extended
of the
intro.
credits?
Yeah, but yeah, that was the credits. It wasn't like
Yeah,
setting
that's
up
true.
like it was a
Like
story.
a framework or
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole thing of this story was to make a big elaborate Homer's fat joke, and it was just
Yeah, get it. Homer can eat more than Cthulhu.
he skipped breakfast. Cthulhu
Ruh-roh.
literally goes rut-row.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this section did have a joke I enjoyed,
Like,
which is the
geez, Cthulhu. Sorry, I don't do a good Shaggy.
like,
I'm sorry.
Yikes. They did have a joke I like, which was the New England Seagulls, which I can't quite remember how they sounded, but like a caca over here.
Yeah.
And then one going, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a joke out of that.
That was
kinda
okay.
But yeah, the foreboding fishmen and everybody turning into sea
Yep,
creatures.
Which,
and it's
god
just,
damn it, as a, Lovecraftian fan, that's Innsmouth, and Innsmouth is not where Cthulhu is. Cthulhu is in the fucking Pacific. Innsmouth is on the East Coast.
yeah, Simpsons.
I mean, do your fucking research.
Joel H.
And
Cohen.
also,
Who'd have ever thought an Elder God in the Atlantic? What are
I
you,
know.
dumb?
but also, I mean, okay, it's just a thing, and it's not really Simpsons related, it's more everything related, where a big part of, like, these kind of creatures from the Lovecraftian mythos is don't show them, because you can't show them. You show them makes them,
Yeah.
realistic, and then they're meant to be beyond imagination and comprehension. So any kind of media where they actually show one of them is like, well, that's fucking pointless. You've missed the point of your own source material. It's personal gripe, but I'll get over that.
Yeah, I got nothing else to say about this section.
Nah.
No, well, the only other thing was that I thought it was dumb
Me too.
that, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
But it was like, yeah, okay, you beat me.
I guess
And
you get to murder
you-
and eat me.
Yeah, you now say I get to pick the prize after we hadn't agreed on that beforehand.
Yeah.
And now you want to, like, kill and eat me? That doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense.
Also, I'm an undying thing beyond time and space. I guess I'll play by your rules.
Yeah. Stupid.
Also, again, to be entirely fair, it may have been, we're having a lot of technical issues, but there was a point where, like, dramatic music will da 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 da, and then just cuts, and then it comes back a little bit later. You're like, wait, what? Well, you didn't cut for a joke.
Yeah.
It just stopped. But again, that might have been a completely legally acquired copy.
Very legal.
Mhm.
So legal.
Oh, man, so legal you can't believe it.
It was perfect. It was perfectly legal.
No quid pro quo or nothing.
No,
Quid pro quo?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's-
like it.
it's
I
where you
can't
get-
speak Latin.
you get a British dollar and a professional crow.
Randomly?
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh.
Don't worry. Quid pro quo.
Oh, I get it.
Pro crow.
All
yeah.
right. But to get into the actual treehouse, the first segment, intrusion of the poddy snatchers.
Yeah, look, another bit I'm just dead as
Boo.
fuck tired of is people today just looking on their phones. It's like, God's sake.
The thing that pissed me off about that most is that it had nothing to do with the
Yeah.
rest of the story.
Like,
it's like-
at the very end, you get a joke of, well, you're pod people because you don't look up from your iPods.
Yeah, but it's like,
Uh-huh.
they haven't been called iPods for so fucking
Yeah.
long.
I know.
Like, come on. Yeah, but it was the fact that, like, if it was that, it would be overdone. But if it was that, there was something in, like, the signal of the phone that caused it rather than just, like,
Yeah,
we've
like-
distracted them. But that doesn't really matter because you didn't need the phones at all to, like, turn them into grass people.
It was
so,
like
No.
at the vaguest, everyone was too distracted with their phones to know what was going on or do anything. But even then, that wasn't true.
It wouldn't have helped,
Yeah,
regardless.
so, like, if you want to do that, have it that, the Apple logo on the back of the phone has a little needle that stabs your hand and implants
Yeah.
a seed in you. Done.
There you go.
Better episode. Thank you. Bye.
Because you need to make it all-encompassing so everyone has one so
Yeah.
that you can just spread the disease really quickly or
Yeah.
whatever. But it just felt like shitty, I'm going to say it again, boomer commentary
Yeah.
about, like, these people don't even look up at the sky.
Yeah.
Fuck
and
off.
like there was one joke that I kind of liked along that vein where they were at the conference, the Apple conference, and they're like, and the new one comes in 2 colors, black and silver, and that's it.
Yeah, and then I like it's black. Woo! Silver. Woo! And that's it. Woo!
Yeah.
Standing ovation.
No
Yeah.
matter what he says,
That
he's
was
all getting
okay.
that woo.
But yeah, it was just such a nothing story. And like for something where, you've got like, a body snatcher's style, you want to feel a bit of tension.
Now, all of these were just so rapid fire rushed, and it was so
Yeah.
hard to focus on anything because,
That's exactly what I was going to say. It felt like it was so fast. It was like, we've got to quickly move what I'll loosely call a story along. And I'm like, oh, whoa, slow down. Like, why is this happening? Like, try and build a little tension. But it was just like suddenly like, okay, everyone you see is now a plant person or a plant copy of them, and it made very little sense.
Yeah.
Yep. I think a good example of that is right at the end where, they've gone to this new utopia and they're like, oh, Lisa will love it here. She's a vegetarian. Like, vegetarian? Oh, you murderer. No, just kidding. Have a piece of my ass. I was like, wait, slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, if that was a fake out, you then took 2 turns and also you then told Lisa to eat your ass.
Yeah.
This literally happened.
Child.
Yeah.
Also, they've obviously been studying human culture, and he hands her a branch with 1 leaf on it.
Yeah.
He knows that's not what vegetarians eat, right?
Yeah.
He knows the difference between vegetarian and herbivore,
Yeah.
right? They had a lot of complex computer equipment and obviously far superior technology to ours. Come on, do your research.
Yeah. But, and also this utopia fake out at the end as well that, okay, so they're on a new place. What's the ironic horribleness of it? But then they find phones and it was because the sentient Christmas tree was fucking here. What?
Like it lays Christmas presents? Is that what they were kind of saying? It's very
That's
bizarre.
what I do. I'm Herb Tannenbaum.
But even then, it wasn't
God.
like, no, they have phones again. Well, the cycle will continue more. It was just, they have phones now.
Yeah.
People
And I mean-
land their phones. Bam.
What is this ending?
And I mean, look, I don't mean to get all Jordan's anal corner.
Corner!
You think
But
you can
like-
get away from that?
Yeah. But
To your grave, man.
yeah, good. I hope that's on my epitaph. I mean, they get the phone out of the box, fine. But what service are they connecting
I know.
to download any apps to play
No,
any games
no,
on it?
no.
How am I going to play fucking, what's a new, I don't know, Fortnite on my phone?
Yeah, heaps new.
When I
Apex
don't
Legends,
have-
bro. Jeez.
Up yours.
There's a joke that I think is just fucking lame as shit, where the clones are all like, it is our time on your planet now. And Lisa's like, oh, why do aliens never use contractions? Oh, we find them confusing. We call Jerry's Deli the deli that is of Jerry's. It's like, what the fucking bullshit is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really forced.
It
Not
was.
funny either.
Especially in
I'll
the
say.
way, why do aliens never use contractions?
This is the most important part of my thing I need to talk about is Earth is being conquered.
Yeah.
She's insufferable this episode.
She is.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
We will get to that.
Okay, 2 jokes I didn't like, one I kind of liked. One, everyone's a plant, so of course Otto is weed.
Yeah.
Cool. There was at one point a Futurama reference, and then the Orville comes and blows it up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they're trying to say with that.
Well, yeah, Futurama's got like a save Futurama
Yeah,
or
bring
new-
back
yeah.
Futurama or something.
And then
yeah.
the Orville blows it up. I guess it's like saying that Orville is Fox's new sci-fi show, and
Yeah, but
I
are they?
guess.
I thought like Matt Groening had like a vendetta with Seth MacFarlane, or Seth MacFarlane was like shitty at The Simpsons, or isn't there some like backstory
I
to all of
think
that?
it's more like The Simpsons have poked fun at Family Guy, but it never felt as vindictive as when Family Guy poked fun
yeah.
at Simpsons.
True.
yeah, there is a famous story that I don't. And again, this is only somewhat verified.
Yeah.
Because Simpsons and Family Guy, yeah, they'd have back and forths in their show and be little ribbings. But there was one where Family Guy did where they're doing like a Chiron joke.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it's
yeah. The,
next up on The Simpsons, and Quagmire rapes Marge, and then he goes into the Simpsons house and,
and
kills them all.
and
And apparently this was the last straw, and Fox actually refused to air that joke. You can only
Good.
see that on DVD and in Adult Swim
It's a
syndications.
fucking shit joke.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
bad. And they just said, look, you guys have to get along. And
Yeah.
we just can't have you fucking jabbing at each other every other episode. And
yeah.
that apparently crossed a line. And yeah, and I mean, I think they've just reached an understanding now. I mean, we saw the Simpsons guy, the Family Guy crossover,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's not the worst blood between them. But
Well, I mean, he's only doing voice for them now, right? Anyway, Seth.
yeah, he hasn't written for the show in a long time.
There you go. And the joke that I did like was the we were on a planet in what you mistakenly called the Crab Nebula. You are in the Crab Nebula. You.
I like that bit too.
Maggie's anger towards Marge joke as well. That,
Yeah, that was stupid.
That came out of nowhere.
Like, she kills Marge because Marge is a plant person now, but then the Bartlett's like, you're really angry at Mom. It's like, but that wasn't your mother. That was a clone that you're trying to get rid of and escape from. This
Yeah.
is
Well, Maggie didn't know that, but I mean, obviously we know
Obviously
that
she
Maggie
did.
is aware enough that it is, but still.
that Lisa had nothing to go off that, wow, you've got a lot of built-up anger towards
See,
Mum.
if,
That's
that
like,
if they'd swapped that around and that had been in like the 3rd episode and like the shitty or like the other ones where Willie keeps getting killed in
Yeah.
every single one, and at the 3rd one, like
then it had been a payoff of
that.
you really got some. Yeah, if
Yeah,
Maggie had
that's
killed
a good
Marge in
That
all
would have been
3
okay, but
unrelated
it
ones.
was
Yeah.
strange at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. when it becomes 2001 for a little bit, when Lisa's becoming a plant person, we go through, we get bits of Disenchanted and bits of...
The disenchantment thing did not belong at all.
Nothing fit here because there's like a bunch of different other show references, but this isn't like a parallel universes colliding thing. This is a, Invasion of the Body Snatchers thing. Why?
It had a loose plant theme throughout it all, and like they did the clip of you don't win friends with salad, so it's like, okay, kind of connected. But then, Lucy from Disenchantment out of nowhere, and it's like, he's not a plant.
Yeah. Also, while we're in the Jonathan Color,
yes,
so when they're doing You Don't Win Friends with Salad, there's an HD TV in the background. That did not happen in the HD era.
Well,
that's very
maybe
true.
it was a parallel.
Parallel universe where they got HD.
And we saw a little bit of the Grand Pumpkin, which we previously
that's
saw
what
in
it was. Yeah.
Halloween of Horror Wasteland, Mayoween.
Yep.
All right, if you were to rank this segment and this segment alone, what would you give it?
If they'd slowed down, I might have enjoyed it a bit more. I will just give it a participant.
Yeah, me too.
Because it wasn't awful. It was just squandered all its good ideas and just blew through it so quickly no one could have fun.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and the next segment... We hinted at it before. Multiplicity.
God damn.
That's not what that movie's about.
No, this is Split.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Splicit.
My main note on this one is if it had been chronological, I think it would have been better. Because they kind of put the timing in the blender because, they wake up in the room and then we go to a flashback of Nelson and later on to explain it all, we go to a flashback of Lisa. It's like, no, if you put this in order, I would have had an idea of what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. Well, then you kind of get an idea of what's going on the second that Lisa changes her accent, and you're like,
Yeah, I thought it was Saw at first because they're all chained up, and then Lisa opens the door. I'm like, oh, that's weird for a Saw thing, and then she changes accent. Like, we're doing Split. Okay.
But and it gets all the way past her stupid little fucking Broadway tune before we've even hit the title card, which is timing in a blender. I think you really hit on the metaphor there.
It's fucked.
Yeah. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. What was this Broadway bit even like?
Yeah.
Well, one of our personalities is a big Broadway personality, understand? Hi, I guess. Fuck. Because we don't even know at this point. We just know Lisa has multiple personalities, and we don't know why this is happening.
And she's made up a bunch of playbills with puns on her name in it.
Yeah.
God. She's done a lot of work on these bits.
Yeah. A great tour de force for Yardley Smith, at least.
Yeah, I mean, she got to do something. That's nice for her, but...
Because, she's one of the voice actors who we don't ever hear do another voice besides Lisa's, so...
Yeah.
She has range.
Yeah, but I mean, just in tone of this one, we find out she murders Willie before we know why she's gone crazy at all.
And apparently his body has been in the room
the whole
time and no one noticed.
Well, actually, it doesn't play because, again, anal corner, is that they show like a top-down shot of the and you can pretty much see the entire room.
Exactly.
And he definitely wasn't there.
Oh, and to make it play even worse, we get a classic fucking I carumba moment. That's the thing he says.
I'll make you eat your shorts or something. And that was one of the lyrics. The song wasn't fun.
Oh, no.
It wasn't funny and it wasn't fun. So that's a fail.
And again, at this point, I'm just confused as to why Lisa is the bad guy in this one.
Oh, women, they're crazy, right?
They be so crazy.
Because that is the takeaway at the end. Women be crazy.
Actually, that's true with the last line from Marge. Where's your Homer? Oh, he's tied up in the trunk.
Yeah. Fucking awful.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the reason that Lisa snaps is this thing, but why she kidnapped Milhouse and Nelson as well is beyond
because they laughed at his joke.
Which she wasn't there to see.
Yeah.
And also, shouldn't she be mad at Miss Hoover, who literally goes, this was clearly forged, but I don't care, screw Lisa.
Yeah.
And screw Duffman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she did.
I mean, we've said this in non-Halloween episodes. Miss Hoover is a bitch.
Yeah. Oh, she's the worst.
Although I did like Duffman's, he says it with a smile, but you can feel the pain in his heart. He goes, nothing makes me feel more like a corporate mascot than waking up in a bed alone. And it's like, oh, poor Duffman.
If we're going to pull a grain of gold out of this, just Duffman. He's very consistently good.
When we did that Duffman playlist accidentally... It was kind of good to see his progression through the ages.
Yeah.
It's Duffman, he's actually a misunderstood
he's
guy.
A complex man.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just a corporate shill.
Yeah, exactly. He does so much good for the community, outside of his Duffman persona. Yeah, miss him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, and so Lisa drugged them with horse tranquilizers, or as they say, she K'd their D.
Yeah, they're Sunny D. Didn't like that because they know when people say D,
Yeah.
they don't mean Sunny D.
Not anymore, no.
No.
Oh man, I think I'm almost out of notes for this section, to be quite fucking
That's
honest.
how little happens in this one. There's an inconsistency in motive as well, because her motive is, Bart's screwed up her assignment that she got an F on, but she also goes on about garbage and recycling and how it's ruining the planet. It's like, no, one or the other. Stick to your fucking theme.
They just sort of think of these things like, oh, how funny it would be to see a bale of Millhouse newspaper
Yeah, that was
creature.
really wacky. And it's
Why?
they were kind of trying to make it not realistic, but at least it wasn't a fantasy sequence. And then it's like he's just a bale of newspapers now. Okay.
Yeah. I almost got a laugh when he spits out like a perfume sample to give to
Yeah.
her. But if I wasn't so annoyed by this segment, that would have been funny.
It was just dumb how they're like, if you've got a big speech to convince me not to kill you, you better do it now.
Yeah.
And then he's like doing it, and then Millhouse just waddles over and falls into the pit, and he's being like comical in the background. I'm
Not
like,
only
what are
am
you
I not
trying to
in
do?
pain, I'm also much better now.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Good.
Yeah.
Fucking Millhouse in this as well. And I'm allergic to myself. If you say one more non-mask thing, my Gloria Vanderbilt class, fuck this.
They were on the front cover. And also the obvious joke of, Millhouse, use your brain more. You haven't made a dent in the door. We'll never break it down. We're trying to break down the door.
Again, I could have liked that line if I wasn't miserable.
I just had a big frowny face under that. Yeah, no, my last two notes were like, Penelope. Oh, okay, I see what we're doing here. And then the next one was when Lisa's appealing to Marge, going, sometimes you just want to, snap. Do you get that right? And I'm like, okay, wait for it. Wait for it. And there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marge, for doing the obvious joke. Thank you very much.
Did you have any more notes?
Fuck this. I didn't write that
Fuck it
down,
to
but it's what I
hell.
feel in my heart.
Yeah, my only other note is you can't solve anything by punching, and then how about turning the clock? I kind of like that.
Again, there were bits that I could have enjoyed if what it was in was not, awful. It's like someone going, you like chocolate, right? Well, here's some chocolate in this pile of shit. You'll enjoy this. Like, no. Really context.
But it's
and
chocolate flavored.
you enjoy it. Yeah.
If you were to rank this segment alone, what would you give it?
Failure. I hated it.
As much as you were kind of saying it's nice for Yardley to be able to do different things. And we've said this before, doing accents in a character's voice must be really difficult. But all of them really annoyed me. Really annoyed the shit out of me. So it's a failure for me too.
Yeah, I'm giving it a failure. It's just... It plodded along. It barely made sense. And then, a bunch of confused messages as well. And like I said before about the fucking social commentary, the whole garbage rant about Lisa, great.
And I could have followed that as a plot point where she just finally snapped because she's been talking about recycling for so long and no one's doing anything. And then she sees, Bart, Millhouse, and Nelson just, I don't know, wasting food or something. And that's what makes her snap. It just,
Also... I get it. I know it was a joke, but it's like, this is how much garbage one American makes every day. And I'm like, funny.
Yeah, and Bart just kill me already. Yeah.
Don't teach me.
Felt that sentiment. All right, and finally, Geriatric Park.
All right, I'm going to start with what I kind of like, which is Mr. Burns, again, way too rushed, but he's all like, well, this will either make me a fortune or turn everyone into monsters, or make me a fortune.
Yeah.
I got a half chuckle out of that.
Yeah, but I felt like this intro was sort of made redundant by the info video.
I know. They tell you what's going to happen 3 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
They tell you when Mr. Burns says it might make monsters. They tell you in the introduction video where they, give the silhouette of old people, drugs and they turn into monsters. And then they tell you again by showing you the microscope and then, oh, well, what's happening here? Oh, they're all turning into dinosaurs because the dinosaurs... We fucking know!
Yeah.
You have told us twice!
And that it all led to that joke of the mini Tyrannus head jumping out and biting Smithers.
I didn't mind it biting his throat, but not being able to pierce the skin, but Smithers still going down it's ripped his throat out. I thought that was kind of funny, but the rest of it was very frustrating.
Yeah. I honestly think this was the best segment, but I mean, not by much. I did kind of like the joke about them going over the various Jurassic Parks and then Jurassic World 2, this time it's safe.
Yeah.
Sorry, just maybe what you said before, it reminded me of there was this I think it was a candidate. I want to say in South America, but I'm not sure of that. But it was basically their campaign slogan was "The least worst is the best," and that's how I feel about this section.
I'm surprised you say this is the best because I hated this one as well.
Yeah.
It was just so lazy because half the episode is watching old people transform into their dinosaur
Yeah,
counterparts.
that's true.
And the visuals are okay, but it does it over and over and over. You're like,
Yep.
I get it. I also like the bit where everyone's turning into a huge monster and Mole Man turns into a tiny thing. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, that was okay. But again, I was so annoyed I didn't care at that point.
Mole Man got a few weird jokes in this,
Oh
actually.
yeah, even before he transformed, he was a
he
literal
was a mole.
man.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, and yeah, there were some like pretty lazy jokes with the old people pre-transformation, like if the van's a rockin' joke and they're just sitting in a van rocking, and it's like that's not a joke. It's not even a good misdirect. Like,
Yeah, it's not great.
Also, I mean, if it's based in reality, nursing homes are a hive for like STIs because like
oh yeah,
old people have nothing better to do than just get down and get busy. Yeah, and they don't use protection.
Doing
because,
the
like, fuck it, I'm
horizontal
old. What am I
Charleston.
going to do?
yeah.
Yeah.
Next time you're visiting your grandparents in the nursing home, please bring them a pack of Ancel.
Yeah. I'm just imagining though, the like two elderly people having sex but actually doing like the Charleston movements now at the same time. And it's very funny in my mind. Anyway.
Playing Maple Leaf Rag in the background. That's like their version of like slap bass.
That hot new jazz craze. Yeah, I mean, the pacing on this one's fucked because you know the turn way before, and then even then you're seeing all the old people run around being okay. And like, if you'd bury the lead, I might have had some fun on this one, but you didn't.
Well, I mean, it's still called Geriatric Park, so you know what's going to happen regardless.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
But again, even after that, they told us 2 more times.
Yeah. And like the character transformations, I agree with you. They hung on them too long. They gave like 2 people at a time a transformation. It took like over a minute. And the only one that I thought was like inherently funny was Jasper being the Dinoophalopoulos, the one that sprays Newman.
oh, yeah,
When his beard like shrieks up. I thought that's an inherently funny character design, but all the rest of them were just like, they're a dinosaur. Who cares?
Yes. There weren't enough caricature enough ones where it's like, oh, well, this character normally has a long neck, so they'll become like a brontosaurus, or like there wasn't
Like
anything
something
like that.
remotely clever to make you go, hey.
Yeah, I see why they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I kind of agree with the Mole Man one because that like leans into his personality, but yeah. And them rampaging as well, like, I don't know. I was just so bored by this one.
Yeah. And it all happens because Homer turns the heat up, and it's like, if you know this is the one thing that's going to turn all your geriatrics into monsters, don't put the thermostat in a place anyone
Why
can
even
touch it.
have a thermostat available?
I mean, I know. It
Just be
feels
like
nitpicky, but still, it's
Computer
like...
controlled.
Yeah, exactly.
Climate.
And Lisa resolving the whole fucking thing just by
stupid.
letting Grandpa talk.
I was waiting for Grandpa to eat her anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, surely that's the twist. Like,
true.
he's become a monster now. He's not thinking cognitively. He's just going to eat you. No, everyone's happy now.
Well, I mean, that's the weird thing because, like, yeah, they were still cognitive, like, to some degree. Like, and especially Agnes with eating Skinner. You even taste disappointing.
Yeah, so they could speak, but then, like, Grandpa just didn't speak.
Yeah.
It was very weird. And also the human-sized body bags and dinosaur-sized body bags. Like, why even got dinosaur-sized body bags?
Why do they have a bin for heads?
Yeah.
Yeah, get it? Because it's funny.
Do you recycle? Oh, I guess that would be compost, right?
Yeah.
Suppose,
We
yeah.
compose.
Look, I'm doing it now. Any other notes about this section?
Yes. When they're doing the side effects bit, like it's a drug commercial, the speech needed to be faster for it to be funny. I think that they were like, we've written all this funny stuff, so we want you to be able to hear it. So we're going to do it slow enough that you can still do it, but it's not funny like that.
Yeah.
I wish they did it like an American drug commercial where
those
it's
things
like,
are insane.
yeah, like it's still like families playing and they're having a picnic and going out on bike rides, but
Yeah.
they're listening. Possible side effects may include death, gruesome death, horrible death, vomit-induced death.
Your heart might become sentient, tear itself out, and try to murder your family for hurting it so many times. While there's like people playing with puppies.
Yeah.
There's this amazing like Adult Swim video that they released a whole bunch of like infomercial style videos like at late at night.
Yeah.
Basically where it is like a drug commercial where it is about like signs of like suicide or whatever, and then it goes for like 10 minutes and it's about this woman, and then like she's really like tired and like depressed or whatever, and then like the good version of herself runs her down and stuff with a car, and she's like trying to drag herself back to her house. It's really creepy, but really well done. And yeah, that's the best like parody of
I love those Adult Swim one-offs.
yeah.
We're talking about it's been the 5th anniversary of Too Many Cooks the other week.
Oh, nice.
That was good to revisit that one.
Yeah.
The very tacky joke from Old Jewish Men. He's too rich for my blood.
Yeah, burps up money. Again, I could have laughed at that if.
Oh, and Agnes, virgin air, I'm not.
Really, that should have been.
Oh yeah, it was
Mrs.
also
Glick.
a bit of a Jonathan corner.
Yes.
Agnes eats skin and goes, you even taste disappointing. Well, half that is you. No, it's not. I'm a Tanzarian.
Good point.
Good point. While we're in there, there's a bit later on where like there's a big like tear. Oh no, it's what's her name? It's Marge's mum.
Oh yeah,
and she's got her. Why would the walker be
Also
huge
be huge with
suddenly?
it.
Yeah, first of all, Marge's mum never needed a walker. Second of all, they infused them with dinosaur DNA to improve them.
Yep.
And it had already been shown that their health had improved.
Yep.
So that logic following it along, while they're dinosaurs, they should be still healthy.
Yeah.
They just wanted to draw a big walking frame with tennis balls on
Be
it.
like, get it? It's huge, man.
If you were to rank this section in their sectional line, what would you give it?
Failure. You lazy fuck.
I'm participating.
I think I'd
at,
be
like,
participant as
yeah.
well.
All right. Now, let's do an abbreviated Treehouse of Horror style questionnaire play count. Have you seen this episode before today?
No.
Definitely not.
I have. I watched it once because
done.
worst episode ever we're covering
Okay.
it, and oh my god, their review is almost 3 hours long.
Wow.
And it's hilarious. So, strongly suggest you check that out. How was the parody in this episode?
There was the idea of parody, but they didn't know what to do with each one. Like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a lot slower burn. Split actually has a plot.
Yeah, I think they read the blurb of each
Yeah.
of these movies
They
and
were-
were like, all right, cool, let's make an episode about that.
It's like, hey, I glanced the Wikipedia of this. Or I saw this on Netflix last night. The sound was down and I was doing something else, but I think I got the gist.
So it's like, oh, okay, so it's about a killer with multiple personalities and there's like
Some kind of beast.
a scary one called the Beast. Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Because at least everyone yells about that and nothing happened. Oh, fuck, that was
Yeah, because at least in Split, like the Beast is like, there's like a physical transformation kind
Yeah.
of as well. There just wasn't anything I don't understand.
Yeah, and especially, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you take a course concept, you mix it with something recent, great. But I think we already said it. There wasn't really any connective tissue between the two things, and it kind of felt like they just crammed them together and still didn't even make it cram and infuse.
And again, the ending is the implication that the plant people were trying to help Earth, and that's something creepy to have like a zombie-esque plant person, clone of your friends, lurching towards you going, let us help.
Yeah.
They didn't do that either, because they didn't even think about their own fucking episode.
No.
When the plant pollen was slowly falling like towards Earth, I'm like, wait, is this going to be like The Happening? Are they going to do The Happening? How are they going to do The Happening in The Simpsons? That's going to be really
How do you
grim.
parody something that absurd?
Yeah.
Horror. How was the horror elements in this one?
Barely existent.
Yeah.
Like if Lisa hadn't hit Willie in the head with an axe, that one wouldn't have been a horror story. I guess the first one, they're kind of subverting the idea of horror, but the third one, it's Jurassic World, which is not a horror movie, and we're not really
No.
doing anything different.
No, and then it's, the dinosaur old people going on a rampage, and then it just gets resolved that fucking stupidly and quickly and
Yeah.
lazily.
The thing, I mean, I'm just thinking about a simple change that could have made it slightly more horrific. When Nelson gets skewered by the, what do you call it? The pitchfork? No.
The
forklift. That's the one. The other one with fork in it. They could have just made the blade that comes through the box red.
Yeah.
But they didn't. It was just a bloodless
Oh, yeah.
piercing.
Even when Agnes eats Skinner's arm, it's just, gone.
Yeah, it looks like when you cut a ham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking on the third one, I think if they'd become monsters and then continue to try and live in society, but were also eating people, and then the whole moral was, yes, your life is better now, but you've become monsters in order to live. Is that really worth it? That's your horror element.
Well, yeah, they should have had them escape and do a rampage in some town or whatever.
Yeah, because they got to eat and they're big and carnivorous.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could do a bit with, in Jurassic Park 2, where like the little kid looks out his bedroom and there's like the eye of the
Yeah.
T-Rex.
Yeah.
But have it like Mole Man's like glasses and just making it look like his eye is really big. That would have been
been
fine.
Yes or no, would you watch this one again?
No.
I wouldn't choose to.
Neither would I. And, we like to think about what we'd change. Just quickly going around the room. BT, what changes have you got for
Just take another pass at the entire script. Shorten that intro so you can spend more time on each of these, because each of these blitzed by so quickly. There was no room to breathe, and everything suffered for it.
Yeah.
I'll say it every time. Like, don't just take a pop culture reference and then just make it like, we're going to put it in Treehouse, we're going to do a parody of that. It's boring. Like, do something that's actually like fun to watch. I don't know.
Well, I think the thing all three of them have in common is they're taking, the premise of one thing, mixing it with something else.
Yeah.
But the thing is the connective tissue doesn't quite work. And I think it's because they spend too much time doing other bullshit. The pointing out the contractions thing, the Broadway musical, and the time blender of that one. And then the transformations and explaining the plot of their third segment over and over again. And I think, if they just spent more time actually building stories about how do these two things connect, like classic Treehouses would do, it'd absolutely benefit it.
Or even have I miss when they used to have a framework.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. And take out this first segment as well. It doesn't need it.
Or if
and
you're
put
going
in
to
a
keep
framework.
it, when Homer's about to get eaten by Cthulhu, have him go, no, wait, let me tell you a story before you eat me.
Yeah,
There you go. Then he tells
Anything,
stories.
Any little thing,
Anything to have some connecting tissue.
Or they all get eaten by Cthulhu, and while they're waiting to get digested in the stomach acid,
they're telling each other stories.
How about we tell each other scary stories first time?
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to rank this thing. On the Simpsons Index, we rank using our 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. Maybe if the episode is just, you give it participant. But for the positive rankings, you got okay bronze, good silver, excellent gold, but for the best, the very best. I don't know why I'm saying this bit in the fucking Wasteland episode, but I will anyway, just in case. Not that we'll use it. You give the good ones cubic zirconia. I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. Look, despite going participant, failure, participant, which should average down to participant, I'm giving this one a failure because it was so boring it was bad. That's where I landed on this one. Jordan, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm in the middle because I think I gave PFP as well. Because I'm like, I'll forget most of it, and that's usually participant, but at the same time, I'm angry, but I want to give myself somewhere to go as well.
Fair.
I'm going to go participant for now because I'm sure there is going to be worse to come.
Yeah. You can always call yourself at 4 a.m. later.
That's true. I can.
We have set that precedent.
Yep.
Great.
BT.
I thought I was going to be the only failure in the room, so yeah, nice. Look, this one just annoyed me because it was so lazy, and anything that could have been fun was just rushed so quickly. Like, even if you were having a good time, there was no time to enjoy any of it. So yeah, dead set failure. I really didn't like this one at all.
All right, averaging out, this will be a shiny failure. This will be the second shiny failure from season 30. It'll be joining From Russia Without Love, which we reviewed in our season 30 Wasteland episode.
Yep. That's the bride one.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yep.
Bart gets Mo a bride on the dark web. We learnt the word
What?
dark web.
Yep. God.
Fuck.
Is that the high point of season 30?
The high point is actually just recently crowned a dull bronze. We reviewed My Sports with the Office 64 podcast, and that's when Bart gets into playing a League of Legends game. Like, I went nice on that one. I could have gone participant, but I ended up going bronze because it was mostly inoffensive. And, considering Simpsons doing something topical like esports, like, it actually kind of did an okay job at it. But it also went to Korea for no reason.
Just like the Simpsons themselves.
Well, they've got reasons for going to Korea.
I know.
All right, before we move on, is that reputation justified?
Is that reputation justified in the Wasteland?
Dennis Perkins of the AV Club.
Dennis, let's just give it a B and go home. Perkins.
I need to call you out on this. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me do the justified bit, and then we will discuss Dennis Perkins' name.
Can we do a new segment where you read out what he said, and then we try and figure out what he was going to rate it?
That's interesting.
Okay. Why not?
We can do it now. We don't know what he's done.
Okay.
I feel like it's not a B, otherwise he wouldn't have called me on it.
Yeah, he was about to go, no, I'm calling you on your bullshit.
It's tempting after a dull, serviceable outing like this to say it's time to bury the Treehouse horror concept as an unnecessary annual disappointment.
Okay, I'm going to go C.
7
C.
thumbs up.
C+.
C+. I was thinking C+, but I'm like, it does say serviceable. Okay, all right.
Yep.
And just while we're here, Jesse Shadeen of IGN gave the episode a 5.6 out of 10.
Wow. So that's a failure on the IGN rank.
Oh, yeah. Anything below a 7 is a failure on IGN. It almost never feels like there's enough room for the writers to really take advantage of these horror parodies.
True.
The result is a lot of easy surface level gags. Yeah. All right. So, the wild card.
Yep. Every time I've called him on it, it's not been a B, so to be fair.
So, I actually did a tally of all of Dennis Perkins' rankings for the AV Club.
Yeah.
And oh God, when did he start reviewing for The Simpsons? Like season 24, 25 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
In that whole time, I'm not counting pluses and minuses. I'm just rounding them all to the nearest letter grade.
Fair.
He's given 5 A's,
Yep.
6 D's,
Yep.
43 C's,
Right.
and 81 B's.
See?
Wow.
I'm fucking right.
But
But.
in defense of that, because I was feeling like doing some stats that night,
Yeah, clearly.
I compared Dennis Perkins' rankings to our rankings of those same episodes.
Okay.
Now, I've given, 4 different categories. Exact is like pretty much spot on what we said. Close, far, and wild when it was just, wildly different. 7 exacts, 27 closes, 15 fars, and 26 wilds.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Now-
he is still the wild card according to math.
So I argue that he is still the wild card, even though he does give a lot more Bs. But I also argue he is dealing with late era Simpsons. It's always going to be some sort of mediocre, I reckon. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has. You did say before he's given 5 A's.
yeah, that's wild.
I don't think we've given them 1 A.
No,
So
you've convinced me. With math, you've convinced me. You've blinded me with science.
Yes, number dumps.
science.
All right. Well, yeah, that does it for our first entry into the Wasteland. So now let's figure out what we're going to go to next.
It was definitely good that came first because we couldn't do math after like 6 episodes of The Simpsons.
Yeah, there's a lot of different reviewers on there. I only had 2 Dennis Perkins, which is odd.
They've got 2 Dennis Perkins.
He cloned himself to be
No,
more.
no, I've only got 2 reviews that have Dennis Perkins
right.
in them.
Okay, sorry. I was
There are
like,
only 2
I
options.
thought you said they've got 2 Dennis Perkins, so it made it really hard to figure out which one was which.
That's why it's so wild because you
Dennis
never know which
A.
one you're getting.
Perkins
You're getting that
Yeah.
good Perkins and the evil Perkins.
Yeah, which
No,
Perkins?
it's a Perkin.
yeah, which,
Dennis Perkin, boy, there's 2 of them.
All right, so we need a D6 whenever you're ready.
1.
Another Simpsons clip show. We're doing the classic era one now.
Yay!
All right, we'll be back.
You guys, remember that time we watched The Simpsons?
That brings me back to the time when we watched Simpsons. And we are back, and we just watched a classic era episode in the Wasteland. But why would we include a classic era episode? You're saying to me, surely, Elliot, there's no classic era episodes that belong in the Wasteland? Well, you got some attitude, mister. Clips. We just watched Season 6, Episode 3, another Simpsons clip show, first released in September of 1994, directed by David Silverman, written by Penny Wise. It was really John Vitti. It's just he didn't want credit for this episode.
Gee, I wonder why.
I assume it was more that he didn't want to say written by because it was a clip show and he just pasted. He didn't write the clips, you know.
So yeah, in this episode, the title doesn't really give it away, but this is the Simpsons clip show that's about the romance plots in the Simpsons. Guys, what'd you think?
I would rather spend 22, 3 minutes with Clippy from Microsoft Office than watch this clip show
He's very
ever
handy,
again.
Clippy.
I'd prefer to spend it with Clippy, the clip show robot from Michael Swaim's series.
yeah.
What was it?
Swaim.
Yeah, crack TV and also does not compute.
Does not compute, yeah.
My favorite one was instant mustache.
Yeah. Say what? Instant must. I've watched that series a lot. So.
That's great. Anyway,
So yeah, this clip show is definitely my least favorite of all of them.
Wow.
in the entire Simpsons canon.
Yeah, well, and that's the funny thing, because in the early days, The Simpsons were actually pressured by Fox to do more clip shows. Originally, they had an order to do 4 per season. So
wow, what?
I'm glad that it turned out that they did 4 overall.
Can you imagine 4 per season?
Yeah.
Like, god damn.
What do you even eventually run out of content and you're just doing clip shows of clip shows? Like, what happens?
Oh, exactly. And
Terrible.
so with this one, I think it's a fine enough premise. There have been a lot of love stories in The Simpsons,
Yep.
but I felt like condensing them also misses the point of each one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It relies on you having watched that other episode and just you get the main story beats.
It's very much remember this, but
But
yeah,
very-
you lack all the context of what's going on, and you don't
Yeah.
really pull anything from it.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the fewest notes I've ever written on a
Wow,
Simpsons
yeah, I can
episode.
see a page. That's
It's 8
very-
notes. That is it. Because I'm like, you're just playing like almost the whole episode
Yeah.
of whatever clip you show. It's not a clip.
Yeah.
That's the thing I was going to say. It is not a clip show.
Mm.
It's like a
Truncated,
segment show. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
especially Marge's one, it's pretty much just the episode almost.
Mm.
Yeah, like the Jark one takes up the majority of the first
It's
act.
so long, yeah.
One thing that I think, what stands out to me, I think the one thing that this episode does well is that mix in old clips of the show with new dialogue.
Yeah.
So in that, they're being clever about it, but at the same time, it makes it feel so pasted together and bad looking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did like the meta joke of when they're watching Itchy and Scratchy and they just redub the bits to fit the new. I thought that was pretty clever and a bit of a meta joke.
Yeah.
How about you, BT? What stands out to you for better or worse?
What's going on? The house ran away, dog on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that opening bit where it was actually a new episode, not too bad.
Yeah, and I also just want to say, because, Marge starts all this because she's reading Bridges of Madison County. I think it's a Nicholas Sparks novel, I'm not sure.
Robert James Waller.
But point is, I don't know, I've never seen the movie or read the book, but my mum has watched the movie. She loves kind of sappy, slow, things. She didn't like Bridges of Madison County.
Oh, wow.
She thought it was boring. So if my mum
Robert
thought that
Redford?
movie,
Okay.
if my mum thought that movie was boring, it is boring as figs.
How about you, Jordan? What stands out to you for better or worse?
I think the only thing that really stood out is what Lisa says at the start. Romance is dead, or romance doesn't exist anymore. It got bought out by Hallmark and Disney, which I'm like, 24 years later, who knew?
Well, even then,
knew?
it could be like a meta commentary. She says it was like disassembled and sold off piece by piece, much
Yeah.
like this episode was
I think
piecemealed
so.
together.
Yeah. The only other thing I was going to say is I hope they've got a carbon monoxide detector in their bedroom if they've got a fireplace there.
Actually, there was another joke. I'm like, Homer throws the book in the fire. It's like, we should have put a fireplace there.
Bedroom.
Yeah. Again, like using clips in a new way, that was kind of good.
I did like, the meta commentary of, with the Itchy and Scratchy, where it's like, nope, it's a different episode. They've just changed the dialogue slightly. And I'm like, wait, I see what they did. That's clever. Yeah.
Because even like when they are sitting around the table discussing love, they're using various shots from various things. So at some moments they're eating dinner or breakfast and Marge is standing up or sitting down eating something. Like,
I did like as well because you could tell that was kind of an older animation, but they kept it up for the bit. And I'm like, okay, so that's why it didn't trigger my brain, because I'm like, it looks like the season 4 or 3 or whatever episode that came from originally, and it tricked me.
fooled you. Play count. How many times before today have you seen this one?
Several. I don't know.
If I add together all the episodes that are featured.
Yeah.
About 19.
Yeah. I said before, I'm like, I don't remember this episode because I guess it's really nothing. It's a real nothing episode.
Yeah.
Because it's basically the segments from the other episodes and that's it. There really isn't much new content.
Yeah, it's like if they Treehouse of Horrored all those episodes.
Yeah. So I'm struggling to think maybe twice.
Yeah. This is one that I remember coming up on syndication way more than I'd appreciated it too.
Yeah.
And it'd always get me as well.
Yeah.
And it'd be that kiddie pool clip and I'm like, wait, that didn't happen there. Fuck, it's the goddamn clip show. God damn it. Got me again. So this is hard to do the questionnaire with this one. Any other notes about it, really?
I forgot how filthy that idea of Fuzzy Bunny was.
Oh, yeah.
That night came the honeymoon, the reaction, and it's just like, they're literally watching cartoon characters fuck, aren't they? And there's no other way to cut this. Miss Cruffle's even like, she's faking it.
Yeah.
And it's got the porno music playing. It's like, yeah, there's no question. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, in sex ed, you'd see...
You never saw someone fuck.
You saw cartoon depictions of how, one goes in the other.
No, we didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just, you download your data to the motherboard and then there's another computer.
So, I mean, we know we've talked about this in the terms of Itchy and Scratchy and because they're watching a cartoon, they're basically watching furry porn.
Basically.
Because it'd be quite realistic to them.
Yep.
With their cartoon skin and junk.
How far does the hair go off?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there was more fur where there was not fur before.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to talk about any of the jokes in the episode that are from clips because it's like we've covered them in other episodes. So
they're not viewed in a new way. There's nothing new about it.
Well, I mean, the only episode you were on for all these was the Laura Powers one. Did you have anything you wanted to say about the others?
The only thing I didn't like was the postscripts, I guess, part of it.
When they come back from a script?
Oh, yeah, when they come back from the segment, in the middle of it, I was like, whoa, hold on. So Marge is just going to tell Homer about Jacques? That seems really risky.
Weird. Kids, let me tell you about romance. This one time, I thought about fucking a dude who wasn't your father.
Yeah.
Because he was good at bowling.
Yeah, and she went into detail because, again, this was a lot of that episode.
Yeah. my note is, so like the whole fucking episode is on this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Basic. It's like the whole thing.
And to drop this in front of Homer, in
Yeah.
front of the kids.
Like, see, everything apart from like that it wasn't your father, it's romance. That's what romance is. And it's like, yeah, fuck you, Homer. Sorry. Your wife was this close to hooking up with
If she
another
hadn't
man in a
driven down
motel
that-
room.
Driven down that ironic street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while we're traumatizing the kids, Marge, and then Homer
Yeah.
goes into his version
About
of
Mindy.
that story.
And then, like, what happened to and Marge, who really at this stage doesn't really have any reason to be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like, what happened to this Mindy? And then, she hit the bottle pretty hard and got fired.
Yeah, sad little detail
That's
about...
really shit. Why do that?
Yeah, pretty mean. And then actually, now I think about it, Marge literally says she was on her way to Jock's and drove down that ironic street and turned back because she felt guilty, whereas Homer made a conscious decision to stay with his wife, even though no one would have ever known.
Yeah, he had an obvious attraction to Mindy and that she reciprocated. He didn't know what to do, but he's like, I know I'm doing the wrong thing and I don't want to. It's just like, I feel I have to.
Yeah, and Marge's was born from spite, whereas Homer's was just born from, an attraction and just being in kind of like a everyday situation because the family are sick and they've got burnt fish sticks. Is that episode?
That raccoon stole my lamb chop.
So way to make yourself look like the bad guy in your own clip show, Marge.
Yeah.
Well,
Just very upset because Mindy was really sweet. There was no need for her to meet such a terrible fate.
Yeah, sad.
But yeah, that's kind of like what makes this episode so depressing as well. Like, let's talk about love. Here's all the bad shit.
Everything sucks.
And also Lisa's story, they cut off the optimistic end.
Yeah.
Like, it was a nice ending, and she just removed it and decided to make it about something else.
Same with the Laura Powers one, like, where she kind of says, if you're a few years old enough to grow a bad teenage mustache. And it's like, there is a nice, sweet ending to that.
Yeah. That's like his only romance story at this point.
Yeah.
Although he could have told the one about Milhouse and his girlfriend and how he ruined that but realized he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess because it's like they needed plot-wise for it to be like, all the love stories are depressing but a lot of them are not.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder why Marge didn't launch with the, her and Homer getting together. You'd think that'd be the first story you tell.
You think it would come more readily to mind, at least.
Especially at the end, she's like, does anyone have a story? Homer, my husband of the last few years? Any good stories?
I was waiting for... Like, what happened to that Mindy bitch? Oh, kids, let me tell you another story about your father. And then the photo, the nudie photo or whatever. Yeah. And then your father thought it was real funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's something that weirded me out about Homer telling the story about how they got together as well. And like...
How much of it is from Marge's perspective?
Oh, yeah, I have another note about that.
I've got a lot of notes about that.
But yeah, that he decided to tell the scene about Artie assaulting Marge, like, to the kids. And I thought, that's kind of weird that he told that the first time. Now, like, he started from that point.
Yeah.
He didn't say the whole lead up and the whole build up or any of that.
Yeah.
Just anyway.
Which episode is it?
Where?
Where, like, Homer's living up in the treehouse and he's, like, wearing a sack.
Secrets of a Successful Marriage,
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I was trying to figure out when was she mad at him? Again, like, there's a lot of episodes where she's mad at him, but I was trying to remember which one was it. That'd be another good one to add into this.
Well, the conclusion of that is very depressing itself. Complete and utter dependence.
Yeah. Marge was right the first time. It is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any more notes about this? Oh, speaking of the storyteller and how would they know things?
Oh, man. Just so many. So Marge, when she's talking about romances everywhere, there's a bit of Smithers' dream. How does she know that?
Yep.
Bart remembers a Treehouse of Horror episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Non-canon.
Yeah, Homer remembers a Treehouse of Horror episode.
Wait, which ones?
I can't remember. I wrote it down.
Well, in the Mindy segment, Homer as well, he described the Mr. Burns with the monkeys bit. And like, you had no way of knowing this,
well,
Homer.
maybe Lenny and Carl were like, oh my God, the weirdest thing happened. They're like, we came out to the parking lot and there was just like these splattered monkeys with wings. Anyway, there was a full report in the newspaper. You missed it while you were away.
But be sure to include it in any retelling of this story of your whirlwind romance with Mindy.
A little bit of stuff I liked with Grandpa and Mrs. Bouvier, like that, and the ending, like, that was a happy ending. Like, that doesn't seem like a happy ending. It sounds like more a detached tale of modern alienation, which is probably a good tagline for The Graduate in general. But
sounds like Roger Ebert's review of it.
yeah, but it was, I liked that new bit of writing.
Yeah,
That one line.
it was a good line.
Okay, Bart remembers from Treehouse of Horror 2, where he has the powers and the trial. They'll have to think happy thoughts of, I'm a stupid moron with an ugly face and a big butt and my butt smells and I like to kiss my own butt.
Yep. Oh, that's right. During what I wrote down, the two montages that went one after the other, the montage and the montage.
Oh,
and Homer remembers the forbidden donut.
Yeah, that's right.
Does he?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
In both of these instances, and it makes me wonder why they put them one after the other, is that the jokes were kind of exhausting by the end.
Yeah.
And they both ended in the same way. Here's all the times we did it, and then the last one is the ridiculous one.
Yeah. The reverse one, or like
Yeah. The one that flips the script on its head.
Oh.
Something.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was a weird bit as well in the middle where Homer, you see his face and then it fades into old animation Homer.
Yeah.
And it's just this weird, because it's almost like you do it like a transparency, like one over the other, and you can see the differences in his like head shape and everything, and his eyes are a lot bigger and more Mr. Sparkly, and it was strange to see like the little subtle changes.
No, absolutely, because season 5 especially, I think the head sizes were all like really different in that season. Season 6, I felt like, is the start of like the more cleaned up versions. That
Look, man, people's heads were just a different size in the 90s. It was the style, okay?
My other note is actually a Jordan's Anal Corner of my own. But it's not the traditional kind. It's actually the Simpsons doing the Jordan's Anal Corner. Where Lisa felt the need to point out that, this episode happened in February and the kids were walking home without jackets. And I'm like, that was never on the front thought of anybody's mind in that episode, but sure. Or maybe it wasn't on ours because February's summer here.
I think she's just trying to, be flowery with her descriptions.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other notes? I think I'm done.
Literally crossed all mine out.
Not really. I mean, it's kind of a bit of heart moment at the end with Homer Marge, but again, we've seen it, so we know that.
The obvious joke of, and that's what romance is, kids.
Yep.
Kids.
Well, we'll just go back to
they're watching Itchy and Scratchy.
Kids
and their stupid entertainment.
Yes or no, would you watch this one again?
No.
I mean, I'm not going to seek it out. If it's on, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm turning this right the fuck off. I
No.
find it exhausting.
I'm hangover testing, is my point.
Really?
There's about 1 minute
maybe.
of content in here that I want to see, which is anything that's not in another episode.
Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to change about it?
They've shown that they can do a good type of clip show with the 138th episode Spectacular. And I think, fine, you can do a new clips show, but you need to have like a good amount of new content. You can't just... And I think it needs to be short and sharp. I think it needs to be a single scene. You can't just retell, like, have 5 or 6 of the scenes from the episode plastered back to back in one continuous story. Because it's just like, we've seen this, we know.
And even if you do that, put some new narration over it or something. Because there are bits of that, but expand upon that. And
Well, even then, I thought the new narration that they had in it was sort of moot. Like,
it was just narration. They was just saying, this is what happened. It's like, well, maybe recontextualize this a little bit or, something.
I just thought of something. Maybe like Marge and Homer are a bit like angry at each other. The idea is that they've already confessed to each other about Mindy and Jacques. So Marge tells the Mindy story with like her bent on it.
Oh, yeah.
And Homer tells the Jacques story. Yeah, well, your mother once went out with this French
and she
bastard.
was all like, "Ooh, I'm Mindy. I've got big boobs and a motorcycle."
Have you seen that X-Files episode with
vampires?
Mulder and Scully telling it from two different sides, and in Scully's one, he's like, I think one of the Wilson brothers.
I can't remember. Yeah,
and then so he's really handsome, and then in like Mulder's version, he's got like big like buck teeth. You must be them government fellas. And it's like,
bit of a rush.
Just do it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where to start. I like the idea of them repurposing old animation and then making a meta commentary on it, but the episode just gets lazy and it's so poorly put together, and it's condensed versions of 6 very good episodes. It's kind of disappointing. All right, I think that's it. Let's rank this thing. It's Jordan's turn to go first.
Jordan.
I'm going to fail it because it doesn't bring anything to the table. Like, it was really just a rehash and not an interesting one. And because they had to show like the love plot lines, it wasn't really joke heavy. It was really just the plot, which kind of just made it boring. Yeah.
You're showing pieces of incomplete plot.
Yeah.
Basically.
So it's just a failure for me.
BT.
Because I know when we did All Singing All Dancing, I'm pretty sure I bronzed that.
Yep.
And on this, I'm like, surely, I should do something similar. But the more I think about it, the more at least songs are easier to take on their own. I can listen to See My Vest by itself, and it's still fun and it's still funny because there's jokes within that. I think Jordan said it right in the sense that we're being shown snippets of a plot. We're not being shown the greatest jokes of. We're just being shown little bits of this story that are, and again, without their conclusions most of the time. So yeah, I'm gonna participant. I don't think it's bad per se, but it just could have done more and just doesn't do enough to be really interesting. It passes by and that's it.
Yeah, look, I'm going to fail it as well. Like I said, easily my least favorite clip show out of all of them. And, you know, we did the first one, the one where the Duff can explodes, at least that had an act at the start that was new, and then it sort of gave context for these clips, even though I didn't think it was well put together. It wasn't unenjoyable. Whereas this one, almost from moment zero, like, it is just obviously a clip show. It is obviously lazy, and I think it's poorly paced. I don't think it's well put together, and I think, it misses the point of all the episodes that it's referencing to suit this plot, which itself doesn't make sense. They want to teach the kids about love, so they get into a bunch of like near misses on their having affairs with them. That is fucked up.
Yeah, telling them about that will traumatize the kids. But yeah, the fact that it's so uneven in terms of like they show maybe like 5-6 minutes of the Jacques story and like 1 or 2 minutes of like what's his name, Wiggum's
Ralph.
Yeah, I'm like, Chief? No. What's his name? Yeah.
Oh, and
Ralph
that's another moment that I
Abe's.
never noticed before is that the chocolate disappears from Lisa's skirt in that scene.
Oh, yeah.
So something gets chocolate out.
But I didn't notice before, but I did notice that like the chocolate is already on Wiggum's pants before it falls. And I'm like, okay, at least that's there. But you fucked up, Simpsons.
All right, and averaging out, this will be a shiny failure. This is officially our lowest ranked classic episode ever.
Wow.
Poor.
Beating out the record previously held by...
Was it All Singing, All Dancing?
Oh, yeah, it was. I thought it was Homer's Odyssey, but that got a dull bronze.
Okay.
But yeah, All Singing, All Dancing got a shiny participant. And look, I kind of agree with your bronze ranking on that one because at least you can like put that on when you're having a night and you can ignore the interstitials and just like do karaoke.
Yeah, you can sing along to it while you're washing the dishes.
Yeah, there's fun to be had there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but this one I found like, largely joyless. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say, you ignore the bit where he tries to murder a baby and you just sing along.
Yeah.
This one, you have to watch and it's unwatchable.
All right, now let's continue our journey into the wasteland. So I need a 5.
Yep, I got a D5. 5.
Ooh, going to The Changing of the Guardian, which sees a recurring character from the classic year. Who would it be? We'll find out.
Recurring from Guardian.
And we are back, and we just watched a HD era episode in our journey into the wasteland. This was Season 24, Episode 11, The Changing of the Guardian. First released in January of 2013, it was directed by Bob Anderson, written by Rob Lezebnik. In this episode, Homer and Marge get in a near-death situation, which makes them think that maybe they should have a guardians for the kids in case that they both kick the bucket at the same time. So they find a surfer dude and a cool lawyer wife who ends up trying to steal the kids. Sort of, not really. Guys, what do you think?
Remember earlier when I asked for morphine?
Yeah.
Here it is.
The worst part is, some of this episode was okay, some of it, but the rest was like, it's just that, you hear that low sound that was in my throat? Yeah, that's...
This is poorly motivated garbage.
Yeah, I think garbage puts in more effort.
One of my notes at some stage is just like, holy shit, we just got here. Like, we just got to the point of the episode of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, one of mine is after the first act break is, okay, well, there's the first break and there's no plot. Oh, wait, this is the plot.
Yeah, it was bad. And then towards the end when they're trying to steal our kids or whatever, and I'm like, wow, you are just jumping to fucking conclusions, aren't you?
Yeah. And then
what the hell?
Well, we wanted to steal your kids. I guess we're not.
Yeah, I guess there's no conflict here, and bye. Enjoy your morphine.
Yeah. Your donut heroin, you mean?
Oh God.
For fuck's
I'm
sake.
sure we'll
Why do the Simpsons writers think doing heroin but things that aren't heroin is funny?
Heroin is funny. It will and always will be funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dash the Simpsons writers. Sorry, I just want to make sure that's not me saying that. I'm
Yeah.
quoting the Simpsons writers.
This is a direct quote.
The genuine,
You can
the
look it
whole staff room. Yeah.
They said it.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking donut scene, man.
When has any of my indulgences become a habit?
Oh, the lampshading in this episode. All right, let's hook in. BT, for better or worse, what's a moment that stands out to you?
So it's a bit towards the end where, they've said, oh, can we take the kids for a weekend? Get to know each other. And Homer and Marge's like, sure. And then I feel like I have to have gotten this wrong. It goes, title card a few weeks later. And then it's like, wait, they've been with them the entire time? Or did they come back and then we've skipped? Like, what is going on? And then it's, I guess, the only thing I can assume is that they had them the entire time. Because they didn't say, oh, I know we said one weekend, but we've been giving them to them every other weekend. And hasn't that been nice lately? Or anything. They've just gone, can we have them for a weekend several weeks later? And they're like, oh, isn't spending time without the kids nice? It's like, but you just said, like, Marge was all, oh, I don't know about a whole weekend.
Yeah.
So is the implication they've been with them for weeks and they're only now just like, oh, they want to take our kids away? It's like, it feels like there's a scene missing.
Yeah, it's totally that. Oh, has it already been the weekend? It's been a week? What? And that's all they needed. And yeah, but it was never the point. It was just, you can draw that conclusion yourself.
Yeah. I did not see the title card, I think, because I was writing. So I just assumed it was that weekend. But now that makes sense. But like, then why the fuck aren't they like, hey, they've kidnapped our kids. We need to find them and involve the law or something. If it's been weeks or something, and they just haven't.
It's been weeks and they haven't given a fuck until they saw a photo in this tourist town, which they're in for some reason.
A different snow town.
Yeah, that has
to the one that they're at.
Yeah, that has Bart and Lisa with these two other people with a little caption says "our family." It's like,
yeah,
but it's literally been weeks, and the implication for the audience is the kids have been with them for weeks now, and you guys have not given a single solitary fuck.
But that's the other thing. That thing in the photo frame store, that's not an indication that they stole the kids.
No.
An indication that they stole the kids was it's been several weeks.
Yeah.
And that should be, the first of many breadcrumbs that makes them think, oh, they are trying to take the kids from us. It was just, no, we'll jump to the conclusion from that. That'll be good.
Yeah.
So
and then,
fucking stupid.
And then Bart, of all people, is all like, hey, man, we don't want to live with you. We want to live with mom and whoever she's married to. And it's like,
yeah.
So if it's been weeks and you don't want to live with these people, why didn't you say something? Why were there no phone calls to say, hey, guys, can you come pick us up? Or if you're having a good time, okay, fine, you never thought about it. It's just bewildering. And it feels like, again, there's some scenes missing here.
Absolutely.
But hey, we needed to free up that time so for the characters to go, and see who can hold a note for the longest. I'm not going to make other people suffer for that.
The note holding the longest. Again, lampshading a joke that's like, all right, now let's do a joke that goes on for way too long. Jordan, what stands out to you for better or worse?
There's a few to choose from, but the one I'm going to pick is they go through a bunch of Simpsons characters.
Yeah.
Oh, we want you to be the guy, and no one wants to come near them and stuff, and I want to talk about that separately. But the thing that stood out to me was the fact that they end up just trawling for strangers to be their guardian. And what the fuck is going on? Like, they're just like, oh, there's like a nice looking couple. Like, what the fuck kind of qualification is that?
Yeah.
To just like, maybe they'll be the guardian.
They look nice.
The joke, mid-Atlantic accent or whatever, like, oh, The Wire was filmed there. And like, what the hell is going on in this episode? Why?
Yeah.
Why have we gone down this path as we have to find a random person to just like be the guardians now? Because
I appreciate they call Herb Powell. It's like, hi, you've reached Herb Powell. I'm poor now. And they hang up like, oh, it can't be him. Later on, they're like, hey, Cletus, you want to take care of our kids? Like,
yeah.
He's poor.
He's the next person that you go to?
Yeah. If you're dead, then Herb can just come and live in your house with the kids.
And also, returning after a 20-year absence from the show, Danny DeVito as Herb Powell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Fuck, right?
I don't even know if he returned to the show. He could have recorded that in his living room on the couch and just sent it to them as a voicemail.
Yeah.
Because, I wonder if he even was in the studio because it was literally one line.
Yeah, on a phone, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Danny DeVito actually did make a point that they've approached him to do Herb's storyline in the year since, but he's always turned it down.
Interesting.
And, to have it for this one line, it was bad.
Yeah.
And, you mentioned it before as well, the people moving away from Homer and Marge screaming, holy shit.
Yeah, that
what
went
a drag out.
Also, the sound editing was really bad on that part. It sounded like it cut in and cut out.
Yeah.
Like, there was no fade or a start. It doesn't need to fade, but like there wasn't a start or a finish
Yeah, but
to it.
you get a group of people screaming, they're going to stop at different points, but it's
Exactly.
just cut.
And why were they like sharks in a school of fish? Like, what was that about? Was it a joke? Was it just because like we can do that with animation now? I don't understand it at all.
And yeah, all leading to, okay, they're gone, everybody, and everyone's getting out of the sewer. Gil's like, why am I leaving? I live here. I'm Gil.
There was only like 3 people in the sewer. Like 99% of the population was still on the town. Like, so who was Hibbert talking to?
Why is everybody out this day?
Oh, Elliot, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
What stands out to me, for better or worse, we haven't mentioned it, the hurricane that starts up the episode, you know, when you have Hurricane Nettie
Yeah.
and, you know, you do this, you got to do something new and original with it. And I like the setup of tension that Santa's Little Helper is missing. That can lead to lots of good plays. Lenny and Carl as Storm Chasers.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yep.
Do something with it, though. This fucking sucked.
Yeah, because even when the whole, they're chasing people around town, they're all avoiding them. Like, oh yeah, they never got Santa's Little Helper back, did they? I guess he's dead now.
Well, I mean, coincidentally, he showed up
Immediately
when he needed to, but then they were still trapped in the bank. We don't know that he got home safely.
Okay, I missed that. I was taking a note. Yeah, getting trapped in the bank was stupid. Like, it can be a near-death experience because you had the twister tear your van apart. You don't need to be trapped in a bank. And then I thought, okay, maybe this is going to be the episode where they're, like a bottle episode where you're kind of trapped in a place and they're going to talk and maybe flash back to various things. I don't know, something. But no, then they get out and it's like, oh, okay. That was pointless.
Yeah, you're right, though. It's a pointless escalation to the story. There was already a near-death thing.
Yeah.
That twister really put things into perspective. Just adding the bank doesn't do anything.
It just ate time.
Yeah.
Time you really needed elsewhere.
So I was going to say, I think the joke that it had to be a bank because it just had to be bulletproof glass, I feel. That was the only reason it was a bank.
But then that wasn't a good joke, and then it led to the other Wiggum Lou corner with let's go halvesies on a pizza, and it's like, did you need to drop a bank to make a fat joke? Fucking hell. And yeah, Marge is... I liked the idea as well that she suddenly saw the appeal in storm chasing, but then she goes, it's like God's vacuum. And then we get this fucking stupid little fantasy bit. That's
God.
I did kind of enjoy God tucking all the dust from the vacuum under Canada. That was kind of funny.
But
not worth the rest of it, no.
Is this Marge's fantasy? So
Yeah.
she doesn't believe in dinosaurs?
Oh, apparently not.
Okay.
But they could have just animated some beauty of a twister. Like, it's all there.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, the twister jokes that they had, which, yeah, someone found the internet anagram server that day.
Oh, no, they didn't. This is one thing I really want to talk about that really pissed me off, because they have, the Springfield sign is flying around, but then the L and the N leave so they can spell fried pigs.
Yeah.
That's not how an anagram works. You have to use all the letters, otherwise it's cheating. You
No, it's
dicks.
Fried Pigs LN, which I'm pretty sure is like a LTD or in some
Yeah,
country.
but they didn't do that.
No.
Play count. How many times before today have you seen this episode?
None.
No, I know I have, but fuck me, I didn't remember it.
Really?
No kidding. No.
Was this a particularly wacky episode of The Simpsons?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want examples? Okay, sure.
Please.
Okay.
Cletus is a cannibal.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, eats the mailman?
Yeah.
Why did they go to Cletus? Like,
It's dumb as hell. Because they're like, what other beloved characters from the town can we go to?
yeah.
Here's
Oh, and the
Cletus.
wacky moment of Selma's words being tiger moms.
Oh, that was awful. Patty and Selma suck at the best of times. But yeah, all this pressure they're putting on their daughter, who's then like, help me.
Especially because they're doing like an Asian stereotype.
Yeah.
Which I really hate.
Oh, it's... Man, every time that they've had that poor girl in and as part of a focus, it's just been racist and lazy and bullshit. And like, Selma having an adopted daughter should actually mean a lot more for the continuity of the show. But this is just one of the rare times where they should remember she exists. And it's like, oh, she's Asian. Let's do Asian shit to her.
Yeah. See, because I think like the Duff Gardens episode where she tries to look after Bart and Lisa, and then, where they talk about like raising a child is hard and everything. And it's this huge shift between season 4 or whatever and now it's like, what the hell have you done? Like, you actually had nuance to those characters and like timidity about being able to raise a child, and they want it but they're not sure if they're ready, and now it's just like, yeah, we're just dicks. Although I have to admit, I did like the term of flute-nastics.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could see that as a competitive sport.
I feel like they started from the word flute-nastics and worked backwards from there. Any other wackiness?
The non sequitur joke of Homer ramping off a walrus and then hitting a hang glider and then the car crashing down and continuing on like nothing happened.
Why?
I forgot that happened.
Oh,
Yes.
How about Homer's line of, we were wondering if you guys like swinging? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know about that. Oh, I mean swinging children on swings.
Then
Like,
fucking
yeah,
say that.
that's how
Everyone
people say
knows
that.
what swinging. You know what swinging means as well. God,
Yeah.
fuck that. Also, the wackiness of Mav. Was that his name? The surfer dude, Mav.
I literally can't remember.
Yep.
Surfing, swapping to the dolphin, body surfing, the dolphin surfing on him.
Oh, yeah.
Very
I-
wacky.
Oh, I liked that animation,
I
though.
forgot it happened.
Cute, but I mean, like, very wacky.
Yeah, but yeah, totally can't believe, I forgot that dude's name. I only remembered Portia because that was voiced by a guest actor. Did you guys pick up who it was?
Meryl Streep.
Portia de Rossi.
No.
Portia Streep.
Her name's not Portia.
So it is Streep.
Mercedes. Oh, Volkswagen.
Rashida Jones.
Oh, really?
right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not pick
Good
up.
on her.
But it was just sort of here's a character that will list off a bunch of traits that will appeal to Lisa, and she doesn't have much else to do.
Yeah, to be entirely fair, I did kind of like that escalation where, the guy's this surfer bro dude, and Bart's like, cool, and then Lisa's like, oh, so who are you? And
Another
it's like,
surfer, huh?
an environmental lawyer who then sues companies for unpaid royalties to old blues musicians. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll pay
Yeah.
that. That's
She is
pretty good.
literally doing the Lord's work there.
Yeah.
But then Lisa's turn at the end being like, oh, you're the woman who I want to be, but not be raised by. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Where did this fucking come from?
No
I mean,
way.
I'd pick Mav and Portia.
Yeah.
They're rich, they're smart. Well, actually, we don't know if Mav is that smart.
He's rich at least.
Yeah.
And he's got a great bod.
And his
he's
dad,
accomplished.
his
so.
dad kind of sounds like Raphael,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Yeah.
weird.
I did kind of like his
Yeah, me
lines of,
too.
The Promise Stone.
I love two things, shutting up and giving away money.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty good. Hey, what's that stone around your neck? It's a Promise Stone. It means if I ever get too much of a burden, I have to throw myself in a volcano.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty good.
Promise stones were different where I grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will give credit to the line of when Homer's like, tries to bribe them. He's like, perhaps this will change your mind. Gives them an envelope. Shows like, this is empty. You never know when you're going to mail something.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. One wackiness that I fucking hated was Mo with the garbage bag. Because again, originally a line I
yeah.
like, they look a stable couple. That's just Mo with a garbage bag. Fine, leave it at that.
Yeah.
Don't turn it into a thing where he's going to throw out a garbage bag full of
Yeah,
cats.
that's fucking
I mean, he
that
was
he
at,
starved.
awful.
and that's worse. He was at the beach at this point. He was going to drown them.
Yeah. Fucking
So-
awful. Like, don't make those jokes.
Yeah. And of course, wackiness. Let's just say it again because it's awful. Homer shoots up donuts.
Yeah.
Just, God.
I mean,
frickin'.
prior to that in the episode, he spends several moments picking out giant glass shards from his head
Yeah.
as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
One from under his eyelid.
Very gross.
Yeah. Okay, last bit of whack I want to leave it on is, what's the guy's name again?
Mav.
Mav. When Mav has a Christmas sweater, but it's showing off his abs still.
Oh, yeah. That
was
is a
pretty good.
great sweater. I kind of want one just for me. I don't have the abs. In fact, the opposite of abs.
And I
But
love they didn't lampshade it. It wasn't a, what's that? Oh, it's a sweater designed to show off my abs. It was just
yeah,
there as a
it was
visual
just there.
joke.
Yeah.
Well done, Simpsons writers. You did one good thing.
At least one. All right. Well, how about the other end? How about the heart?
Nope.
Moving on. No.
I don't know. Like, there could have been some, like, heart between Homer, Marge, and the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the kids being like, do you not love us? Like, why are you trying to, like, give us away or something? And it's like, we do love you. And that's like, that is why we want to make sure you're going to be looked after if anything should happen to us, you know?
Yeah.
There could have been room for that.
That's the thing.
And they've muffed it.
I feel like they went, okay, guys, we've kind of done this before. We had Burns as there. We had, Ned when he's their legal guardian. How do we do this differently? How about we do nothing?
Yeah.
Do absolutely nothing with this idea, and that'll be different.
Why didn't they ask Ned in this whole thing anyway?
Yeah, he's literally done it before.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Look, I think the characters even pointed it out that Portia going, oh, this is all happening so fast. Yeah, it is.
But I mean, even then, we're like, okay, fine, this is the plot. What are you going to do with it? Then to do nothing with it is like, all right, so then why do we do any of this?
Yeah.
And then there was a bit where they're in the hammock and Marge literally says to Homer, Homer, do you think we're moving too fast? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. You're moving way too... What the fuck? You've just literally met random strangers. How do they know that you're not weird, like, killers or something, you know? What?
Exactly.
Like they say, oh, it's only been one day. How can we know? And, like, it's
Yeah, they're even
dumb.
pointing it out. The logical jumps you have to make this episode work, like, they're too far. It's shit. And ultimately, did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
It feels like the echo of a copy made by people who don't know what it is.
It's like one of those Turkish knockoff videos
Yeah.
or something.
The
So-
Simps.
Like those, were they from Taiwan or whatever, the 3D animations of the news events? Yeah, it was like that of The Simpsons.
Yeah, I don't think many of the characters were off at all, actually. I just think the motivation of the writing in this episode is fucked.
Even to that, the fact that they actually become their legal guardians is also stupid because they still are. At the end of this episode, they signed a contract. It was notarized. It's done.
Yeah.
So why not have, can we spend a weekend with the kids to understand them? Do that before they sign, so that at least is then, building to this, and then it's not the problem of they are still legally going to take over when Marge and Homer die.
Yeah. Because especially in instances like that is, why didn't you do this? Where I have to think about in the episode, okay, well, what did having the contract that early on lead to that would have been worth it? And it was that fucking suckers. Oh, wait, you have to sign this. Suckers. Oh, wait, you have to sign this.
Oh, you have to initial here.
Also, who made up the documents? Because it would have been like maybe a little twist because she is a lawyer.
Yeah.
And she does mention that something about
that
the legal
too.
thing, like she finagled it, so it was like, no, we're adopting them or something.
Why do any of this shit if
And
you're not going to use it?
And
God
made
damn.
that a plot point. Like, no, we actually adopted them from you. Like, they're our kids now. And then that being a struggle, and there could be some heart in that.
No,
That's another thing that makes me feel like there is just pages on the cutting room floor somewhere. Because there's things like that, and it feels like there was something there once upon a time that we just didn't get, and instead we got this several weeks later cut.
That was really just like the end of Burns' Air, though, as well, though, wasn't it? That's where he had to kind of choose. Like Bart did, right?
Again,
so it's the same plot.
But they're still doing it effectively.
Yeah, true.
And at least in that one, Burns kind of took him by making him the heir, whereas this one, they're looking for a guardian.
Yeah, and Bart had a kind of a moral choice to make. Whereas this one, it's like they don't even seem that bothered that they want to really be...
Not at all.
Which is weird because the one thing that they didn't show, they showed Lisa looking up to Portia and being like, wow, I'm so enraptured by you.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't Bart getting into surfing or like skating with Mav or something? Like,
again, I mean, it's just time they burned elsewhere. They could have used doing that kind of thing.
Like built up, like they're having a good time with the Guardians and they're having a good relationship, and you can see that like, oh, this could cause friction because Homer and Marge are going to get jealous of how well they're getting on with this other couple.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have saved that for what they should change. Shit.
I mean, it's all just coming out now.
So yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Not unless I really, like, if I was in some kind of physical pain and needed to be numbed, maybe, but then I'd probably also focus on the bits that are terrible that make me angry.
Yeah, please no.
Yeah, God fucking no. BT, what would you change?
Oh, God, I think we've covered a lot of it. Because again, you have something here, and I think just spend that time with them. Instead of them signing the contract, they go, okay, how about we spend the weekend together? And then there's a point during that where they're like, oh, Marge and Homer, why don't you guys go, spend some time by yourselves and we'll go skiing with the kids or something. And then you kind of develop into this thing where maybe they want to take them or something. I don't know. But even then, the very end of the conflict is, oh, you're trying to take our children away. And like, well, we are, I guess, sort of, but we really like your kids. And the kids are like, well, we want to go back with, our parents. Okay, that's the end. It's like, then there was literally no conflict.
No.
There's no point of contention whatsoever. And I really cannot get over that whole several weeks later jump where they just go, oh, I don't know about a whole weekend. Several weeks later, oh, it's been lovely not having the kids. Wait, are they trying to take our kids? What?
That
was like
fucking
a whole episode's worth of plot in a few sentences.
Yeah, and it feels so much like this is a rushed last version of something they had to redo like they lost the original ending of the episode and they had to redo it with a day.
See, if you'd been
so
like
weird.
me and missed that bit, it might have made more sense, actually, consequently.
It is weird that it's suddenly Christmas, but yeah, cut that title card and I get less annoyed.
Because I actually had an anal corner. It was like, hold on.
Anal corner!
They've had a Little League game and a recycle that they've gone to
Yeah.
in like within the one day that they've had them. What the hell are you talking about?
Damn.
Fucking hell.
A time skip is so fucking weird.
And what would you change, Jordan?
I think what I kind of talked about, like there needs to be conflict. Like if Bart and Lisa don't really care, then why did they stay? Why did they like, hey, can we go home now? And Mav and Portia don't challenge them. And at the end of the day, they still don't have a guardian. Like the thing is,
No, again,
a
they
guardian,
do.
well, yeah, they haven't annulled
By
anything. They
legal.
still need that. They still need a place for them to stay. And if they're going to not choose Mav and Portia, then they've still got a huge problem. Where are they going to stay? Nothing gets resolved. There's no heart. Yeah, they just screwed the pooch.
For real. And yeah, as for what I'd change, I really want to cut out a lot of these extended jokes.
Oh,
yes.
Especially when they're looking for guardians. It's like, we're doing an argument with Grandpa. We're doing an argument with Kirk and Luann.
Oh, God, that was bad too, wasn't it?
Oh, awful, awful shit. Oh, and then the Grady and Julio we just adopted a baby.
That was creepy and
Give me
weird.
my clothes. I need to get back to
like-
the ship or something. Like,
Yeah,
what?
literally, how am I supposed to take this?
So, in an
Into
effort just to
roleplay.
cut all of that stuff out. I mean, look, if that's your bliss, I just don't know if it belonged in this episode.
No, it doesn't. It wasn't funny enough
No.
to warrant cutting bits of story, which felt like they did.
Yeah, and I want to just cut out that whole section and just get to Mav and Portia also storm chasers. And
Yeah.
that's how they meet them initially. And,
Perfect.
you can still have, Marge doing the whole beauty of the storm thing, but then get in a near-death thing, and they're like, oh, you got to live on the edge, bro. And they're like, you know what? We don't have guardians, maybe. And, like, they get to know these people from that point, and so we can spend more time getting to know them, and it can be more of a transition. And then, of course, you can have the moments where the kids are spending time with this new couple, but they live a hectic lifestyle. Surfer guy's constantly going on tour.
Yeah, that's what I thought the conflict was going to be, actually, in the midpoint.
And lawyer lady's all like constantly busy with everything, and so
With
they fight.
work
Yeah,
and-
that's such a better episode.
That would have been better.
Yeah, and then even have, they go around with them chasing storms for a while. Then they get to know them a little bit. And then they're like, oh, wait, you guys don't have guardians for your kids. Are you crazy? You've been chasing storms with us for like a month.
Yeah, and that can drop a little bit of sinister that they start. Yeah, okay.
Ah, Matt, bravo. Well done.
It's writing itself now.
Just pat ourselves on the back.
I'm batting Elliot for that one. That was-
Yep. Hey, we all helped. We get co-writing credits. We were here.
It's true. We were in the room.
Has anybody got any other notes?
Homer's a god. He drowned in the opening credits, which is
Oh,
really
man.
creepy.
I was like, a nice simple joke. It's one of the throw the ball and dunk things. Perfect.
Yep.
No, they had to ruin it with the extra step.
How did he drown in like 2 seconds?
He's that lazy.
Man, they fucking rip on Settlers of Catan so hard at the start.
I will say, I quite like the jokes, though. Like,
Yeah, they
Settlers
were not-
Catan is a fun game, but I did like, no, we've got to play this game. Now, everyone work out your tax receipts or whatever.
Yeah.
Fill in these immigration forms or something. And it was like, yeah, okay. And then nobody likes this game. Not even the people on the box like the game. They're miserable.
Yeah.
Why are Homer and Marge in like yellow jumpsuits for storm chasing, but Lenny and Carl are just in their regular clothes?
They're living on the edge, man.
Yeah, but why did they change? Like, it's really weird.
It's not
And
a
I just-
raincoat?
No, it just looked like a shirt. Unless it was a
rain
child's
shirt?
raincoat on him.
And just while we're there as well, Lenny and Carl are in the van, and he's like, yeah, Marge is a real surface whore. That's a thing I learned about storm chasing. Here's the Wikipedia article.
No.
Fuck. Bad
Stop.
joke.
Yeah.
Kind of funny line of Carl getting blown away. It's like, oh, it's 27 years from retirement.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad. Another Jordan's Anal Corner.
Another
where,
Oh, I believe it's time for another Jordan's Anal Corner.
where
Wow, we went all the way from just yelling it and we're
Yes,
come
I'm
back
super
out the other
posh
side.
now.
Yes, we've done enough yelling. I think we've peaked at that. It's time for poshness and
A little bit of class
finality.
in the wasteland.
when Homer and Marge have the bank drop on them or whatever, the wind is all calm and everything's kind of normal. But then Nelson suddenly flies by as if he's been, and he's like, ha ha, or whatever. And I'm like,
Yes, his famous line, haha.
yeah, ha ha.
How preposterous.
And my only other note was Homer going, now I can tick some things off my bucket list. But then it's just like a bucket of fish, a bucket of chicken.
Yeah, which I
Bucket of
don't hate, but
mayonnaise.
again, it was a little too.
Oh, but they hung on it. And
lamp-shady, yeah.
And then bucket of cholesterol medicine at the bottom.
Fucking great. Yeah, I'm out of notes. Everyone else?
Oh, no, wait, hold on.
Oh, hold on.
I didn't mind Homer. Stop being blasé. Never.
Really?
To Bart. It was just kind of meta.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it's time to rank this thing. BT, your turn to go first.
I'm going to go with a participant. And it's one of those participants that might honestly be worse than a failure just because this is just so numbingly dull. There are some points that really stick out as being egregiously terrible. The time cut again, I'm going to bring that up.
Yep.
But honestly, this one just, like, it numbed me out. I just was like, and then this happens, and then this happens. And
Yeah.
so, like, none of it was, like, overly rushed or incredibly staggered except for those jokes that went for too long. So the pacing was fine. The plot was okay until it just didn't do anything with itself. So, yeah, participant, but just like the blandest, worst kind of participant.
Yeah, look, I honestly could have gone a participant on that, but yeah, just, man, thinking about it, it was bad. And a lot of the bad jokes more than double outweigh any good jokes this episode had. There are parts about it that are genuinely offensive, and especially egregious as a Simpsons episode, which plotting and pacing is like some of the most inspired things about the classic era to fucking have this.
Yeah, it's one of the ones I would fail if I could raise any kind of emotion about it.
It's a good Wasteland episode, I must say.
Yeah.
How about you, Jordan? What do you reckon?
This is tough.
Yeah.
Because I hear both your arguments, and I agree with both of them.
There's no wrong answer.
Both of your arguments are equally good, guys.
No, who do you love more?
The funny thing is, I think we're saying the same thing. It's just one ended up with a part and
we're
one
just
failure.
landing on a different part of it, yeah.
You're like one of those, like, the clown ball machines at, like, the Fate, and it's just like you put the same ball in, and it goes, and it just hits a peg just slightly wrong, and it goes on the other side of the fence.
We're pachinko now.
God, how do I feel?
You want to say both out loud and see which one feels
God,
right?
how do I feel? Participant. Failure. Failure. Participant. Shit, this is actually really hard. Fuck it, I'll fail it.
Yay!
There are some things that are unforgivable. There are some bits in it that are just make me really angry. And yeah, like I think the whole plot aspect of that third act, I'm really confused, and I almost feel like we saw different episodes because of what we saw.
Literally wonder if I read that title card wrong because it made no sense.
Maybe because it just doesn't make sense, and then there are some very offensive bits in it too. Yeah, okay, failure. Failure sounds right.
Yay! This will make this a shiny failure. And it's the first episode from season 24 to be dubbed a shiny failure, but it'll also be joining other such episodes like Homer and Ned's Hail Mary Pass, where Homer goes ooga jugga for like fucking 15 minutes. It's terrible.
Boy.
Codependence Day, that's when Homer drives drunk, crashes the car, and then puts Marge in the driver's seat.
Yes, bad.
Yep, and also Gal of Constant Sorrow, where Bart takes in a homeless Appalachian folk singer that then Lisa takes in, and then she's addicted to drugs.
Maybe you're talking about that.
It's terrible. And before we move on, is that reputation justified?
Well, is it?
Is that justification reputed?
Robert David Sullivan of the AV Club.
Robert the David Sullivan.
Yeah, let's keep trying the game. Changing of the Guardians is 3 mini Simpsons episodes, a comic portrayal of a natural disaster, a well-worn sitcom story with cameos from lots of recurring characters.
This sounds positive.
And a brief tale in which our favourite family is threatened by the guest voice of the week. Everything is so rushed that none of this feels sad or tense or heartwarming or funny.
Good.
What did he give it?
I was worried for a second there.
I'm going to say C-.
C-.
C!
Oh,
Who gave it a
we
C?
keep going just half a grade.
Yeah.
Too low.
I should have Prices Righted you and gone like one
One below or one above.
C.1. All right, now it's time we move on to the last episode of this part of the Wasteland Megamix. BT, the dice.
Okay, what do you need here? Like
I need a D3 at this stage.
Yep, I got that. 3.
All right, it'll be another HD Era 1. We are going to watch 3 scenes plus a tag from a marriage.
Yeah, but what's the episode called?
What is that a joke about?
4 weddings and a funeral.
That's what I thought, but I'm like,
Not
that
even
doesn't,
close.
That doesn't play.
No.
3 billboards outside effing Missouri.
Oh,
that
God,
might be
I really hope not.
And we are back, and we just watched season 29, episode 4, 3 scenes plus a tag from a marriage, which turns out is based on a Swedish series written and directed by Ingmar Bergman called Scenes from a Marriage.
Oh, okay.
First released in March of 2018, it was directed by Matthew Nastuck, written by Tom Gamble and Max Pross. In this episode, Marge and Homer find themselves and the family in their old neighborhood, and so they decide to go find their old apartment and regale with the people who lived there the story of how they got Bart, or their relationship in that point. Yep. Basically just retreading old ground and retconning some stuff. Guys, what did you think?
The morphine continues. I'm nice and numb.
Washed over me.
Literally holding my eyelids up in that
Yeah.
one. Fucking hell.
I'm going to wonder, like, if this continues, if I'm going to end up like in Wolf of Wall Street where they take the Quaaludes.
All right.
Like, if you can just stay awake, you'll be like fucking high as balls.
Yeah, exactly. But, go through the numb phase and the drool phase and the incoherent phase.
Yeah, well, I mean, this episode certainly went through all those phases.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah. Jordan, for better or worse, what something stands out to you?
Yeah, I was saying, like, it just like washed over me like a wave of warm piss. I don't know. Like, it was not good. Maybe it was the the video that Reverend what's his name Lovejoy showed them.
Yeah.
It was called like Problem Child, and I know that there was like a horror movie called Problem Child.
What
I'm pretty
horror
sure.
movie? It was just this kid's a rascal kind of movie.
Yeah, except this kid committed horrific acts
Oh,
of
yeah.
violence.
Yeah, we
which
now
was-
have a mailman murder playlist.
Yeah.
Well, there was a few playlists made by this one.
Yeah, and a DINK playlist.
A DINK
where,
playlist, yep.
Yeah, they learnt the acronym of DINK. Good
Yep.
for them.
And also a slow red side effects playlist as well.
Oh, yeah.
It was very slow again in this one, and I'm not sure why.
But yeah, this problem child thing, like...
And they're like, oh, the solution is to have another child so they can abuse each other.
Yeah.
Cool. Look, there's not much that stood out. I found myself just very underwhelmed by this episode completely. And yeah, I guess that was the thing that really kind of woke me out of my stupor, because it was just so left field for there to suddenly, like, she's slitting his throat with the mail and like kicking him right in the head. And
Yeah, like knocking him down is one thing.
yeah.
Pulling out an envelope to slit his throat with a paper cut.
Yeah. And then like basically making a dog jump off a cliff and stuff. And
Yeah.
didn't like it.
There's problem, and then there's serial killing.
Yeah, then there's sociopath or psychopath child.
Yeah, and look,
Slightly
those
different
like
category.
religious infomercially sort of, here's the solution to this problem. Like, that's a really funny platform. But yeah, this was just a montage of, this girl doing horrific things. And I don't even think I stuck the landing with a whole have a second child thing. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that should have been a lot funnier than it was. But yeah, it just led to the baby beating her up. And it's like, it's obviously this is a poorly edited video.
Yeah.
How about you, BT? What stands out?
I'm going to throw a quick sign gag. So they've got like a Jonah Jameson kind of stand-in, again, played by
Yep.
J.K. Simmons. Of course it is. Who else could do it?
Yep. Apparently this character's name was JJ Gruff.
Yeah, sure it is.
Okay.
So
sure.
basically, he's, Marge is apparently a reporter at this point, and he's going, you need to get something done. But on the back is like a framed photo that just says, proofreaders on streak. and it came up again later when he shows the headline. It's misspelled as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
proofreaders on strike. It was a good little through line. And also, I think the best laugh I got out of the whole thing was they're watching a Marvel movie. They're waiting for the credits, and they're waiting for the end credits and the mid credits and yada yada. And then the guy he was waiting for Nick Fury, and he's got two eye patches. Like,
Yeah.
I'm assembling a team of the best team assemblers.
Yeah.
And I want you to help me assemble that team.
I did like assemblers assemble as well, and then like 16 different Marvel movies all coming up at one
Yeah,
point.
I like
Yeah,
that.
not bad. Not
Yeah,
bad.
coming to you in theatre in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not bad either. But yeah, I think they hammered home the commentary about the post-credit sequences a little too much, but it's a fine enough bit to do.
I feel like it could have been much, much worse, and that's why I kind of like the final joke on that, the assemblers assemble,
Yeah.
is at least coming from a place of knowing it rather than, these movies you can't even live in my day.
Yeah, to do the credits tag with, it's Uncle Ben's evil along. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it comes from a place of knowing the material, but then it's different for, someone from an outside going, it just keeps going and you can't shut up, and these kids today. And instead it comes from, I've seen these movies and, guys, this is getting a bit ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah.
You're getting like end credit sequences now.
And what stands out to me from this episode, look, again, much like the last one, not having a clear idea of what this episode is about by
Yeah.
the end of Act 1. Like, there was just so much of Marge and Homer enjoying stuff and constantly saying, we don't have kids. It's like,
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
But again, like, not many of these sequences really did anything. Like,
No.
and
not at all.
that and what stands out to me is that extended Krusty as Easy Rider thing.
Oh God, yeah, that was another one that it was like a minute long. Jesus,
Yeah.
it just kept going. I haven't seen Easy Rider, so I don't know.
I don't feel like there were any actual jokes in this, though.
No.
It's just a style parody, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a clown, but
It's called Queasy Rider.
Was that?
ugh.
Get it?
Yeah, so I don't know. I still don't really know what I can say this episode was about.
Yeah, it can't be the birth of Lisa. We've done that. It wasn't the birth of Bart because we just do it 1 year later and they've had Bart.
And in the Jordan's anal corner.
Yes.
Jordan's anal corner.
Oh yeah, we're back to classy. By the end of the
See
wasteland,
how-
it'll be back to.
Yeah, no, this is where you
Anal
start and we
corner.
see where it goes. I don't know how long this will amuse me for. So.
It's like Age of Empires 1. or whatever, where you could pick Gandhi, and if you lowered his like aggression,
Civilization
one, and it would like go below 0 and go up to 255, and you suddenly start nuking everybody.
Jesus.
The Gandhi glitch. It's infamous.
What glitch was I talking? Oh, yeah. So Marge mentions, we were the first person to have a baby in the neighborhood. And so she's got Bart. So he's been around for a while at least.
Yep.
You know, he's holding his head up. He does at least 6-month-old things.
Yep.
And then Kirk approaches him with Luann, no Milhouse. Milhouse is in the same grade at school as Bart.
Yeah.
And has never showed any promise with his grades that he could be accelerated or anything like that.
Hell, there's that episode where they take over the comic book store, and I think he says, "I'm 4 months younger than you."
Yeah. So this doesn't
she
make
is
sense.
not pregnant at all, Luann.
Not in the slightest.
No.
But just while we're here as well, the other big retcon is, Homer working for this dental
Flash
whitening
mouth.
strip. Yeah. At this time, he was working at the nuclear plant. He got the job right before Bart was born.
Yep, we had a whole episode about it.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be like a Smash Mouth joke?
Yeah, was it Flash Mouth or
Flash
something?
Mouth. Also, it seemed like today's like tech company, but it was obviously in like the 70s or 80s.
Technically, it would have to be in 1982. Bart was born in 1981.
But for the purposes of this episode, it looks like early noughties,
Yeah, but then Homer's been in a grunge band as well.
Yeah,
so
and it's been a lot.
you know.
I know Simpsons time continuity makes no sense. However, I fell down a hole the other day trying to figure out when Homer was born, 1956.
Yeah.
He graduated in 74.
But he was also alive in some kind of like 30s bar, so, you know, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they would go to the effort of going back if they didn't have a clear story to tell.
Again, it wasn't the story of why they had Bart. It wasn't the story of why they had Lisa. It was just things that happened in that era.
Yeah.
But also without specification of when that era was.
And it's not really tying back to the framework that much.
Yeah, like, say what you like about that 90s show, and many people have. At least there's a reason why it's set in the 90s. It may not be a good reason, people may not like it, but at least there's a purpose.
But yeah, the wraparound, like, being that they're trying to convince these people to have kids when they spent the first act saying how
great
awesome
it
their
is.
life was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then saying a bunch of bad shit that was happening around that time with Bart as well. I really hated the framework as well, that it didn't really even tie into it.
Yeah, because it gets to the end, it's like, oh, big family smile. Lisa, if you don't join us, she might leave. It's like, I don't know who this person is, and I don't care.
And yeah, that was just such a last minute, oh, fuck it, we don't
Maybe
have any
it's for
tension
the
in this
best.
story.
Yeah.
Well, they even have a bit earlier where Lisa's like, can't you skip ahead to the part where you said always been glad you had us?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, we know you're all headed that way, but give us something.
Yeah.
No, I want to talk about more about the good years of our lives when we were free and easy and we didn't have this stupid lump of responsibility.
But no, have kids. It's the best thing in the world.
Yeah, who were they? I don't know if they were trying to convince themselves more so than the other people, but
Yeah. Play count. Have you seen this episode before today?
No.
I certainly haven't.
Once before.
Mm.
That's all I've got to say about
We
that.
got to get you a hobby. How do you feel about model trains?
God hates model trains.
Then it's settled. If you don't believe in God, you'll have model trains.
Well, I've got some model trains, or, you know, I've got these boats as well that you can really put in the water, or I've got this mask that has a pipe in it that someone can shit in, and the pipe goes straight to your mouth. Have you guys listened to The Grub yet?
No.
Nope.
It's this guy who owns a model/sex store, and it's a very good sketch.
Okay.
Guy's like, oh, I really need a hobby. And he's like, well, we've got this top and tail latex jumpsuit. Or over here, we've got these little cars, and you can actually build the engine.
Not gonna lie, that's kind of amazing.
I love The Grub. Wackiness. Was this a particularly wacky episode of The Simpsons?
Parts of it, yeah.
Mailman murder comes up again.
Yeah.
I've got a note. Homer, come fight.
Oh,
Yeah, God, that's so weird.
not
Also,
as weird as Grandpa's.
yeah, I was about to say
Mixed
Jasper's sperm is stored in Grandpa's balls?
Yeah.
Is that what we're taking away from that? Was that inside his balls?
I mean,
I can't remember. Were we talking about a retirement home orgies on mic or off mic? Because
You'll find out.
Yeah, it'll be there.
When you edit this episode, you'll find out.
Because the only way that makes sense is assuming they've both ejaculated in or on the same thing.
Yeah.
This is where we are. Thank you, Simpsons.
Well, it was like pink, so we can assume it was inside a person.
Look, they literally said, don't ask.
Yeah,
It's like,
He said that's none of your business.
yeah. Which, you know what? We're a Simpsons podcast. Kind of is.
Yeah.
we dig in and we get in the deep cutting details.
Again,
the others
fell into
won't.
a deep hole working out Homer's age. And I'm not above figuring out how this happened, but I also don't want to.
Well, they both fucked Mrs. Glick.
All right, well, there we go.
I'll go with that explanation.
Ew.
Unless there was some sort of snowballing going on. Anyway.
Yeah.
I can now tick the note Jasper's sperm off my notes. Thank you, Simpsons.
Bart was really stabby in this episode as well.
Yeah.
Well, Bart stabbing Kirk in the hand.
Pouring
He
in
just pulled a
yeah.
Tangelo out of nowhere.
Yeah.
and some sea salt. But then Kirk's all, sea salt, the most granular of all sorts. No, there's rock salt. No, you're salts.
That shit hurts to get into an open wound.
Why was young Hibbert, dressed as Prince, doing his rounds?
Oh, this is a recurring bit of like when they did flashbacks and Hibbert had a different hairstyle in each one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why was he dressed as Prince?
At a hospital, it is unusual. Maybe it's his day off and he
Yeah.
just came back to get his pen.
But he was like consulting. Yeah, maybe he just does it on his downtime.
Maybe it was his day off, but he got called in because Grandpa had too much group sex with Jasper.
Right.
And they needed to be, he's the only doctor they trusted.
And they both got their penises stuck in a finger trap.
Yep, as that happens.
Yeah.
A pink finger trap,
Yeah.
which is their nickname for Mrs. Glick.
Oh, God.
You see what you do to us, boredom and Simpsons?
It was Halloween, and that was his
Yeah.
costume. Let's just go with that.
Some of the background gags when they're going through their old neighborhoods. So there's a shop that's just this bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all right.
And a place where they make your own toothpaste. And some guy's like, terrible.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
There's also umbilical cord jewelry.
Ooh.
Mm.
Bart's pool table face was pretty wacky.
Why? Like, and then because it was awkward staging because the immediate next shot was him sitting next to Lisa. So it was, an awkward camera jump. Like,
Yeah.
boo.
As long as I'm the pool table, like, why? What does that matter?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you wanna
Jukebox
be
is pretty good.
Would you want to be the trip to Bermuda?
That's also
Yeah.
pretty good.
I would like that way more.
I do like when they're talking about, we've been talking about having kids. We can't even decide on the name for our ferret. We both like Caitlin, but the spelling. And then the ferret's like, which one am I? Caitlin with a C or Caitlin with a K?
Oh, that poor ferret's going to have issues.
I mean, I guess we're missing the biggest wacky thing.
Oh, what was that?
The intro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, another Bill Plimpton. I put couch gag in air quotes because it was not a couch gag.
Yeah. It's Homer singing a song about being in love while his head morphs into a bunch of stuff.
Well, the song's like Your Face. And so.
Yeah. That doesn't help me.
It was a shit song. I didn't like it.
Mm.
Didn't like the song. The song sucked. The balloon foley was very disturbing.
Yep.
Oh, Homer going into his own ear and coming out the other side was pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Super Mario 64 where, before you hit start, you'd play with his face? That was fun and delightful. This was not.
Yeah.
But I mean, that works with a game where you can have an open-ended play session with an episode of The Simpsons where you have 22 minutes max to eat up 3 minutes at the start. But not that this episode actually, unlike the last one, had the problem of it rushing through its paces too much. It didn't do that. What this episode's guilty of is being too fucking boring with
It had no
thing.
paces to hit.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for, 10, 15, 20 minutes now? What was this episode about?
Yeah.
Their regret at having children in the first place.
Pretty much. That's the only takeaway here. There's no turns. There's no changes.
And there's no sweet ending where they're like, and we're happy. We're happier now that we've got kids because they show no evidence of that. They don't even say that.
Yeah, and they said, Lisa was born, and then Bart calmed down. We know from Lisa's third word that was very much not the case.
Yeah.
He kept trying to fucking get rid of her.
Yeah.
Yep.
He tried to mail her.
Where? Doesn't matter. She had enough postage.
And then they said, he calmed right down. Then he stabbed Homer with morphine. Ugh.
Yeah,
How about the
God,
heart?
What the fuck?
You just covered it. There was none.
Again, an episode where there probably should have been and could have been.
Yeah. In fact, it's even worse. It's not we had another baby because we loved our first one so much we wanted to we thought another one would bring us even more joy. It was we wanted another baby because our first one sucks.
Yeah.
Like, that's anti-heart.
Yeah.
Imagine finding out your reason for existing was to mellow your siblings out.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm an accident. That's fine because accidents are great. It's how we got champagne, even though I don't like champagne.
And Worcestershire sauce.
And Post-its and super glue.
Well, a horse just jumped into a fire and they're like, hey.
Not super glue. I got that wrong.
I don't know. But
Basically, accidents are great and they're fine. That's good. Okay. I'm chaos. That's great.
But ultimately, did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
I think they were trying to. Could have been a fucking clip show, actually.
A little bit.
Felt very clip showy, didn't it?
But just all the clips were garbage.
No, it's like that Community episode. All the clips are wrong.
Yeah. Or they're from episodes that didn't air.
It feels like a writer came in one day going, cool. How are you doing? Good morning, Greg. Hey, have you seen that script I was working on? What do you mean working on? It was done. No, it was my first pass. I just had the framework. I just really had to flesh it out a bunch. oh, we made it. What? But
I wanted notes.
yeah, I gave it to you for notes, not to post. What?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, the framework is there, and it's a fine enough framework, but there's no point to any of it, and really not a lot of laughs either. It feels like, yeah, it's the basis of which you then build on.
The 3 flashbacks were just something I farted out over the lunch break just to fill it in so I could get the basic gist.
And yeah, this comes from Tom Gamble and Max Pross as well. Like, they are Seinfeld fucking gods. Like, and yeah, ever since they've been on The Simpsons and their writing credit episodes, oh, horrible. But
they've
yeah,
got a terrible coke addiction. So
and yeah, I gotta say as well for the integrity thing, yeah, you can get hung up on Simpsons wibbly wobbly timey wimey, but like I'm gonna say, yeah, if you're gonna go back and if you're gonna like even just slightly retcon, have a point to it. Like when it's this pointless, it feels that much more egregious. Like, sure, Marge can be a journo, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so established that Homer had been at the nuclear power plant since Bart's birth. It's just to have him at that tooth whitening thing was just pointless.
See, what I thought it was going to be is the lead up to Bart's birth, because we don't really have a story on that. I mean, we've got, when they find out Marge is pregnant, but we don't have much prior to that.
No, that's it. We see, the struggles with the money and him taking the job at Gulp and Blow and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, there is still more to be untold. So why didn't they tell it? God damn it. Yes or no, would you watch this one again?
Nah.
I'd prefer not to.
Me neither. BT, what would you change?
I think we've covered it, man. Just what's there is okay. It just needs a point. So if you're going to retcon, if you're going to be in a different time period, just do something.
Jordan?
I would say commit. If you're going to say that kids are garbage and they'll ruin your life, like actually go through and have that woman leave at the end.
Yeah. Take the road less traveled.
Yeah, just because, I mean, they've done the feel-good happy ending every other one, but like, or you know what? Say, yeah, it's hard, but the moments of happiness that you get are so rich and pure that they outweigh any kind of frustration or negativity that you have from having, like, a child in your life or something like that, or like when they look up in your eyes, and that makes it all worth it. Like, have some message like that. It was just this really kind of bleak outlook of like, just lie and look happy.
Doom someone else to your same misery by lying and looking happy about it.
Yeah, and ever thought about that, maybe your relationship isn't that great. If you can't handle this and you can't communicate and you're not willing to compromise anymore, then shit, I don't know, maybe you're not cut out for this.
Yeah. Yeah, what I want to see changed. I actually really like the idea of Marge being a journalist, and I really wish that was more of the framework of this episode. That, like, okay, she's a journalist before Bart, and she's like, oh, I'm pregnant. That's okay. I can focus on being a mother now. So we've got a tight bit of time between Lisa and Bart as well. So I reckon then do another flash forward to after Lisa's born, maybe when she's 1, Bart's 3, and their life from there, and Marge trying to pick that up again. Or why not? The couple realizing, oh, we don't want kids, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guest stars of the episode.
Yeah.
We had John Baldessar playing himself.
John Baldessar?
The John Baldessar.
My gosh. Playing himself? Wait, who's he?
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Yeah. He was the artist in the art section where Marge was journalizing.
Oh, right. So you've done a lot of schnozzes or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
So he's a sculptor, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm guessing he's the one who does the rabbit.
Yeah.
Which
maybe.
is steel that's made to look like it's an inflated balloon, and then Bart pops it anyway.
It's not art anymore, unlike this. Fucking hell.
Fuck off, Mel.
And also, Kevin Pollak had a few guest spots in this episode, but most notably as Professor Thernstrom, the guy from the Problem Child video.
Oh, that was Kevin Pollak. See, I thought that looked a lot like Dan Castellaneta.
Right.
Like, when, God, I know I've already talked about Parks and Rec, but when Leslie goes on that community radio and it's like, I'm filling in for whatever. And I thought it looked like him, so I thought it was Dan, but okay, never mind.
Yes, the music is quite awful, but they are lesbians.
Yeah, that's the one.
Forgot he was in that.
Yeah.
But no, Kevin Pollak, I know him best from Wayne's World 2 as the guy with 2 different colored eyes.
All right.
And Wayne's constantly putting his foot in it. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. All right, we'll get contracts and I'll cross the T's and dot the lowercase J's.
That is a Mike Myers staple, isn't it? I'm just thinking about it because he's got the
mole
as well. He loves that joke.
All right, guys, any other notes?
Yes, good sign gag. When they're in, they got the establishing shot of the theater at the beginning. I liked Transformers : fatigue. There's some weird age differences in the like the attendees of that party. I don't know if are they all the same age? There was a couple of weird ones in there that I'm like, are they as old as Homer and Marge? Like, they're way older, surely, aren't they?
I thought Ken Brockman, like, having brown hair and being extremely young was like...
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know. He could be like one of those Steve Martin types who's just forever had grey hair. But I always, like, pegged him as 60.
So this is, like, 12 years before, in quotes, current time, right?
Yeah,
because
approximately.
So they'd be, what, like 20-ish?
Yeah.
21? So, yeah, is Smithers like 30 in this or something?
The age of Smithers is one of those chiefly contested things we've had.
Yeah.
I did like Marge's as well. Like, do you want to go see the apartment, kids? You want to go see?
I can tell by your tone we're going to go anyway.
Yeah.
I have one tone.
I did like when they sat down and the guy's like, hey, so would you like some weed, edibles, pudding with a joint in the middle of it?
Yeah. See, I'd like the pudding with a joint in the middle of it, but it means American pudding, which is more like a mousse, right?
Yeah. I'll take that pudding over this fucking cake pudding bullshit.
I love cake pudding.
It's a lie, and it makes me angry.
Christmas pudding is like my favorite dessert.
Okay, well, you enjoy it and keep it to yourself.
I'll have a slice of
I will.
pud.
Oh, just a little bit of pud.
Just a little slice of pud.
Just maybe 2 slices of pud.
Oh, you didn't say that'd be custard.
Do you want more? I'll leave it out and see what happens. Fuck, that's a good sketch.
Oh, Auntie Donna. I love the...
Look up
Auntie
Donna
Donna
pudding.
Another bad Homer fat joke. The stupid biplanes that only go 4 feet off the ground. Dad,
There's the
Best
best.
in 12 feet. You're just too
How does she even
fat.
know what ride he meant? Fuck
I
off.
know, just,
Anyway. Oh, bad line. Where are these comets coming from? Outer space?
Yeah. Oh, and what was with, his old employer, he calls him, and then he's going on a elevator to outer space?
Yeah, he's got a building so tall it's in outer space.
Baby.
Also, he answers after 0 rings and is like saved his number in his phone just waiting for Homer to call him one day.
So he can say goodbye forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a douche.
What? I don't understand. Like, he was so happy to have him around, but then he turns into a weird, like, workaholic boss. All of a sudden he's like, I can tell you're not even listening to me, but I'm so happy. And then it's like, oh, you can't have a kid. That means time away from me. And it's like, what the fuck is this character change? That's so bizarre.
Oh, and in that scene as well where Homer's half listening to him and half watching that thing crawling down
his eye.
Yeah.
And they do it 3 times, and it's just like, okay, you're doing this because your dialogue's boring. Fuck off.
It would have been better if he did it like maybe twice, and then the guy just like reaches over and like takes it from him and just puts it in a drawer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Any other notes?
Oh, for nap time, we'd be dead from stress a long time ago. Jesus, childcare workers. Like, I know you don't get paid enough, but fuck.
Yeah.
And there was like some weird like incel commentary in that cum fight.
Where one of the sperms like, girls don't like me.
Girls don't like me.
Incels come from dumb cum. Is that what we
No, what I'm saying, well, I mean, God, I don't know. But the thing, like, a girl rejected me, all girls is, like, hate me and they're stupid. And anyway.
In that sperm's defense, it didn't say they were stupid. They just said they didn't like him. Which,
I know, but it still
given his
felt like a
entire
commentary.
interaction, I know, I'm digging whatever hole I can here.
Let's rank this thing. Oh, it's my turn to go first. Fuck. I could go either way again.
Fuck, yeah.
Look, mostly numb and bored. I'm going to give this a participant, but seriously, I could have flipped a coin on this one. I fucking hate this episode, but yeah, it was more dull, boring, and dumb and numbing, and maybe I do want to fail it, because it did Yeah, I'm failing it.
Ooh.
Oh, boy, look at that upgrade. Talked yourself into it.
Jordan.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't think I got as angry at parts of it as I did the last time. It just felt like it should have been a clip show, but then it wasn't, and it was just no fun. Not that clip shows are fun to watch, but yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. It didn't make me angry like the last one did in parts.
Yeah.
So I think that just plops it over the fence slightly to participant.
And Beach, finish it off.
Straight up morphine numbed participant. Again, it feels like there's groundwork here for a better episode. It's not there, but it's just, I'm already struggling to remember this one. And we're not even out of, talk yet. So yeah, it's going to fade from memory so fast. Participant all the way.
All right, the first episode to not get a shiny failure in this.
Wow. Well done.
And it is a dull participant.
Hooray.
It will be, only the second episode from season 29 to get a dull participant. It'll be joining Whistler's father, where Grandpa reveals his whistling talent, and Maggie's got it too. And a bunch of other bullshit happens.
That was bullshit.
That sounds like bullshit.
And before we move on, is that reputation justified?
Why is that reputation there justified?
Dennis Perkins of the AV Club.
Justify yourself, Dennis.
Dennis, you know what? I'm going to trust you here, Dennis. Dennis, the wild card Perkins.
Another retcon of Marge and Homer's marriage leaves us wondering who these imposter Simpsons are. What do you give it?
Ooh.
B.
B-.
John's right.
Yes!
All right, guys. Well, so ends part 1 of Wasteland Megamix. Tune in next week where we have 4 more episodes to go through. It'll be next week for you guys. Still the same day for us.
Woohoo, madness!
It's going to be a big
Let's
day.
do this!
I am starting to feel like the last 2 have been such morphine that the only way to stay awake is going to be embrace the madness. So let's do it.
Yes. Get excited, folks.
But yes, before we do, we may as well, while we're here, roll the dice to see which episode will be up first next week.
What D do I need?
4?
Yeah.
D4 again. 2.
We are starting out with the Teens Era episode,
I can see by the look of glee on your face, this is really bad.
Kill Gill Volumes 1 and 2.
I know you hate this one.
No.
All right, guys. Catch you next week.
Let's get our rage on.
That's some of the mustard in the wasteland.
Some of the mustard. Thank you for listening to the Simpsons Index podcast, which is also an online spreadsheet available at thesimpsonsindex.com. You can chat to us online at facebook.com/thesimpsonsindex or at Simpsons Index on Twitter and Instagram. And now please stay tuned for the bonus scenes.
Is that justification reputed?
Yoda singing it. A classic era episode in the wasteland? Why the hell would we do that? What's happening over there?
I am troubled.
Why, it's that wasteland madness already.
Can't figure out how headphones work.
That's the first symptom.
Yep.
You'll get him one day, sport.
You keep at it.
Just real quick, am I coming through on tracks? I'm a little bit quiet in my own headphones than I was before.
I kind of turned all the headphones
Okay,
down.
no, cool. Just wanted to make sure that wasn't a technical problem.
Also, I just want to make sure, I think I'm in the wrong place because I was supposed to come to Southwest Julio's.
Not SideQuest Studios?
No, it was definitely Southwest Julio's. That was what was written on the thing.
Oh, yeah, right. Jordan Aram or whatever.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I just thought you got my name wrong. That's okay.
Yeah.
But thank you.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, I discovered recently that YouTube does auto-closed captionings, and it clearly can't understand my accent. And it has resulted in some fucking hilarious results.
Southwest
Yeah, it's pretty
Julio's is a really good name.
Yeah.
So yeah, it heard SideQuest Studios as Southwest Julio's.
I really like it. I think if we ever open up like a cantina style bar,
Yep.
Yeah.
and we call it Southwest Julio's.
Absolutely.
Jasper came on Grandpa, and then
Came on himself?
Grandpa came in. Yeah, you know what?
Never mind.